The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Online entertainment.
NoDQ.com. NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
The people that know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the ATW Crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. We have reached the deadline for Professional Wrestling's 2022 calendar of big events as the final battles for the Ring of Honor landscape approach, and a unique idea is brought to life. What feels like a final exam will test everybody's merit and awareness as we come to you now in this last Simply Predicting 2022 double feature, where we discuss Ring of Honor Final Battle and NXT Deadline. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to my Simple brand. Again, you know what this is, for I am the Simple Man, and my name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, is the round table of cohorts that I've had the pleasure, whether it was FTW, Jeff Meacham Network, ATW, Meltdown Wrestling League, and, of course, the Horsemen of the NoDQ Galaxy as well. This year, 2022, has been a phenomenal year of pro wrestling, and we're back one last final time for the last discussion of two key shows. So before we, of course, get into everything, I want to say thank you, first off, to Professional Wrestling 2022. Thank you to everybody that's watched these videos on live or on demand. Again, I encourage you to like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And, of course, gentlemen, I thank all of you. Welcome to the last video of 2022. I will first start off with the commish of Meltdown Wrestling League. 316, oh hell yeah. Jeff Chadwick. Jeff, how are you? It's been a wild year. Are you looking forward to NXT and this last Ring of Honor pay-per-view?
I am looking forward to it. I think Deadline is going to knock this out of the park. With this new match that they're bringing in, something different, something that the WWE Universe has never seen before. This is a great ending to 2022 as far as Triple H is concerned, leading the battle. And I can only wait to see what 2023 is going to bring for WWE. As far as Ring of Honor, I'm glad that they're back. I really am. I mean, I'm not much of a predictor for Ring of Honor. I haven't been on any of the shows before for Ring of Honor, but I am familiar with these people through AEW. So I can't wait to see what this is going to turn out to be. So it's a very, very exciting Saturday we're going to have tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, again, you talk about Saturday. Jeff Meacham Network has you covered all day Saturday, folks, as we will be giving you coverage, open mic night, thoughts, comments, and engagement starting 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please set your clocks accordingly as JJ, James, and I, the shows, we will respectfully bring you live reactions and commentary. It's going to be a long, fun day, and I can't wait. And speaking of that graphic, of course, I now like to introduce the brilliant brainchild and creative mind of FTW Productions. That intro, that graphic you just saw, and so much more too. Honestly, this guy could book a wrestling pay-per-view if he had the wallet. He's different. James Hebert of J. Hebert Side 95. James, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, but I got to correct you on one thing. I have proven without a shadow of a doubt that I can book a pro wrestling card without the budget. WYW, check that out. But that's neither here nor there.
Hey, we're live, pal. We're
there we
live.
go. Hey, it's fine. It's fine. So there you go. But with that being said, very happy to be on. And yeah, this weekend coming up is going to be a busy one. As you heard, 12 hours. Count them. 12 hours. Probably longer than that because something's not right in the head with any of us in this freaking call. Jeff is probably the only sane one in this entire call. Everybody else here? No, something's
I wouldn't go that far, but
Hey, listen, are you doing a 12-hour day?
I've done 12-hour days. I don't like them. I'm passing on this one though.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I may not be getting paid for this 12-hour day, but this is going to be one of the most engaging 12-hour days of my life because if anyone knows me, they know what I'm about, and that is professional wrestling. Damn it!
Buy the
But I
shirt.
digress. As this guy will tell you to buy the shirt. I say don't buy my shirt. Subscribe to his channel. Buy into his reviews. He's a brilliant mind. He's got a lot to talk about too. And this is definitely going to be the cornerstone of his NXT. Not my NXT! But I digress. The Renegade JJ Williams, always a pleasure. Of course, my WWE color commentary cohort. And of course, the host now of Open Mic Night. JJ, how are you and how are you looking forward to tomorrow?
Man, I am doing good, Noah. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and give back to your channel. You've done so much to help out my brand and the Jeff Meacham brand. As far as looking forward tomorrow, I'm kind of like Jeff. It's like I'm familiar enough with the Ring of Honor guys through AEW, but I've never really been a big try to predict these because where are these guys really going to go, especially with no TV deal, limited pay-per-views?
Mm.
It's literally like a crapshoot in Vegas. You just throw the dice and you hit or you miss.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was about to say, at least it's not fully loaded 2000, the crapshoot, although that's a good show.
That was a good show, though, James. And I mean, we saw what it led to, but it's more so about not what's to come, but what's going to happen during the night. And again, thank you to those that are in the chat that are watching live, including but not limited to Sean Garner, Dwayne Atkinson, Sabas66. And again, I hope everybody has a great time with the discussion. Let your opinions, your predictions, your questions be known. I will play them out. Try and keep yourselves on topic, folks. And again, everybody's opinions matter, including all of you. So come join either of these leagues, as of course, I'm crazy. And it will be the last event of the WWE NXT Predictions League and the last event of the inaugural ROH League. With that being said, we're going to go in numerical time sequence. So we're going to kick things off discussing Ring of Honor Final Battle. And again, folks, Ring of Honor Final Battle marks the final pay-per-view, normally of the Ring of Honor calendar year. It will particularly be for this year, 2022. Special start time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are reading that right. Available on the Bleacher Report app and Fight TV International, and I think for Honor Club under certain criteria. But stay tuned as the Jeff Meacham Network will also begin your coverage of the Ring of Honor 0 Hour. No matches have yet been announced, actually, for that, so take that for what you will. But again, 0 Hour pre-shows, buy-ins, they are what they are. They're just a little bit of a tease, a taste to welcome you in for what's to come. And again, shout out so far as I look at the forum here on my other computer. 26 of you have put in predictions for Ring of Honor Final Battle, including but not limited to Colin, Steve-O, Alistair, Jeff, Dennis Bursbury, Bacon_Space, Charlene, Tony Norton, Will Ospreay guy. I wonder where he got that name from. My buddy Kyle, Jane Wells, Sean Boley, ATW's Enforcer Lex, and shout out, of course, to my fellow independent wrestling loving friend, now newly Twitch stream creator, content creator, Cindy G. This will be her final prediction she puts in. Good luck to you, Cindy. It's been a hell of a lot of fun competing against you. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and talk about this match first. And again, folks, get those predictions in. So I guess Don Castle and the boys are all about breaking some hearts, but now I guess they just want to have fun against Titans. How many times do you poke a bear before the bear claws your face off? I would not take these guys lightly, let alone want to play with them. But this should be entertaining. As the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championships are on the line, Don Castle and the boys, simply called the boys, they take on the Embassy with Prince Nana in the corner. Gates of Agony. I'm, of course, talking about Toru Noah and Khan, not that type of con from Star Trek or the con that leads AEW or the con that's in WWE. I'm talking about a whole different con. ROH people understand me. And, of course, the Machine, because who better? Brian Cage. As we know, Don Callis and the boys won these titles back at the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view, of course. That was Death Before Dishonor against the Righteous, man. Of course, how about Vincent, Bateman, Dutch, and, of course, their escort, Via Von Star, who I believe is CCW champion, I think. I'm gotta go see if they play that match at Legacy. Either way, again, Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. It's the earliest development of a trios division ever heard on the Western Front. Let's just put it out there, all right? It's kind of been there a little bit while. We've seen champions the likes of the SCU. We've seen odd combinations too. Shane Taylor Productions, Good Old Faction. It's one of those things, though, where I think about the Gates of Agony had a chance for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. They came up short. We've also seen Brian Cage. He came up short not only a tournament, he came up short for the Ring of Honor Television Championship, I believe, as well. I feel like the Embassy and Prince Nana's going to have anything to back up. They kind of need this. So, honestly, I think the titles might change here. Because, again, this pay-per-view, I feel like, as you allude to, JJ, needs to set a foundation for Ring of Honor. Then we'll talk about afterwards, too. Maybe particularly the media scrum that's to follow. We'll actually get some real details. Just saying. But I'm actually going to go out on a limb here and think that we're going to get new 6-man tag champs. Just for the heck of it. Jeff, what's your thoughts towards this match?
Well, you know the old saying, you play with fire, you're going to get burned. Well, I think that Dalton Castle and his nice little crew there, stuck their hand one too many times into that fire. I'm with you. I think we're going to see new tag team champions, new 6-man tag team champions come tomorrow.
And it looks like Dwayne Atkinson agrees with you. James, what's your thoughts towards maybe Ring of Honor reestablishing, their original trios division, led by maybe the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage? We've seen these titles defended a couple of times in exhibitions on Dark Elevation. Nothing really to, shout out about. I mean, I would think the more realistic thing right now on Dark Elevation to beat these guys would be the Trust Busters, and that's only if you have Parker Bordeaux involved, which, again, not a factor here. No. But what's your thoughts towards this?
My thoughts towards this is Gates of Agony better win, or I'm gonna have a problem. Because seriously, first off, we got. I'm just gonna call it as I see it. I don't hate Dalton Castle. I actually really like Dalton Castle. Unlike a lot of people lately, they just like to say he's boring. I think he's not. I think he never has been. I think people are seeing things when they say he's not the same performer after his back injury. He hadn't lost a step when he got 100%. So that's just me. But man, this boy shit is so overplayed. But just to put in perspective, I went to Ring of Honor Best in the World live in Lowell the night Cody won the title. And I saw them win the tag titles then. The 6-man tag titles then.
Yep.
This shit has been going on for way too long. I don't know why. This doesn't scream new Ring of Honor to me. So hopefully they have the smarts to put it on GOA and Cage, because that actually has some potential there. But and not to mention too, there's one thing. The only thing that I could see with these guys is them having a trios match with FTR for the titles and Wardlow. That would be a match I'd love to see, but we'll see what happens there. All I know is they need to win it, because the boys aren't doing it for me. It's not even Dalton. The boys just never did it for me, never will do it for me.
Maybe they'll be cast better as Thing 1, Thing 2 in a Dr. Seuss novel, but I don't know. That being said, Dalton Castle, former Ring of Honor world champion, of course, kind of never really been the same since he lost the title, let alone being beat by Rouge that you saw live in literally 12 seconds since 2019. He had a short stint with Joe Hendry as a tag team. That fell apart. Then he lost out on the Ring of Honor TV Championship in a 4-way at Final Battle 2021. So he's always been one of those flamboyant, colorful, one-of-a-kind characters in Ring of Honor. But does he need the boys along with him as part of the act? I kind of agree with you. I don't think he does. That's why, again, I feel like he's better as a singles competitor. I mean, he challenged the Ocho, which we'll talk about later. Pretty good TV match. JJ, what's your thoughts on the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions and the talent involved here? You know Brian Cage. We told you a little bit about the castle of Ring of Honor history, but as far as your take when it comes to a trios champion outlook, which team do you believe is the better to start maybe in this inauguration of Ring of Honor?
Well, aside from Brian Cage and Dalton Castle, I'm very unfamiliar with most of these people. So I did do a little bit of research, and, we kind of talked a little bit about laying a foundation for what's to come in the coming year, and especially if that ever elusive TV deal is on the horizon.
Or streaming deal, but yeah.
And the Embassy has been around in Ring of Honor for a while.
Yep.
Granted, they were on a bit of a hiatus, it looks like, for about a decade, but there's something there in the core for Ring of Honor. When people think of Ring of Honor, they think of names like the Embassy and Prince Nana. And so I could definitely see it going back to them. I believe I picked them in the league primarily because of Cage.
Who better?
Getting to see him on the scene out here before he apparently got roided up. Not accusing, but he sure looks different than the pictures I have with him back in the day.
Fair enough.
Who better than Glands, huh?
I think it's ironic, though, that, and I don't want to get too off topic here, but much as LA Knight kind of started to transition away from the maximum male models and get a little bit of an upswing with his character again, around the same time, Brian Cage kind of came back in the forefront on AEW television and is starting to get a little bit of a resurgence over here. And I make that analogy because of how they were a tag team for so many years out here, both managed by the late great Percy Pringle, better known as Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer.
Mhm.
Some of the last charges of Paul Bearer before his untimely passing. So it's just being someone that watches all the products and everything. It's ironic to kind of see the upswing for one around the same time that the other came back and is getting a bit of an upswing too. So that's another reason why I'm kind of going for Gates of Agony and Cage here to take this one.
I feel like Prince Nana is going to be a deciding factor here. We really haven't seen him get physically involved in these matches, nor have any foreign tools of the trade involved to give up to the Machine Brian Cage or the Gates of Agony. But yeah, I feel like right now that Prince Nana needs to reaffirm the establishment of the Embassy, and it starts with these titles. And it looks like a majority of people actually are going with us. 20-some responses. 74% believe in the Gates of Agony. Why? I guess some people like to see this peacock flourish his wings more than the NBC one. So we'll see what happens there.
That's a good one. For me, it's I think that you got a really good trio in those three. It's not even just, okay, well, they are randomly thrown together. You don't think Cage and think of Samoan, but I don't know, man. Something about them, they've gelled together so freaking well, and I don't know what it is, but every time I remember the last time we saw them on, I think it was the Ring of Honor 0 Hour, and they impressed the hell out of me. They impressed the hell out of me, dude. I'm honestly I'm looking forward to a Gates of Agony trio title run for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The destruction that could follow. All right.
I
that
like
was
bad
pretty.
things.
Well, I mean, that's what we want, right? We want destruction. We like violence. Can you tell?
We're wrestling fans.
Consider...
If you can't
right.
tell, what are you doing here?
Exactly.
I'm not doing anything. You accusing me of something? Allegations. Anyway.
Allegations.
Okay, look. Matt Menard, calm down. We're not even talking about sports entertainment. We'll talk about that later. Let's go ahead and talk about the newly christened King of Television as he defends the Ring of Honor Television Championship. Samoa Joe, who clearly nearly killed Darby Allin, defends the Ring of Honor Television Gold against Rock Hard Juice Robinson. And this will be a first time ever one-on-one match. The thing about this match, Juice Robinson, he has history with several AEW talents. We want to go ahead and, blur the lines. Of course, he's been in the ring with Juice Robinson. He's been in the ring with Lance Archer. He also has victories over Jon Moxley and also Cody. Samoa Joe, of course, right now, he has held the Ring of Honor Television Championship close to 100 days after successfully getting it off of Minoru Suzuki, Casanina Ray, and has so far defended it twice against Jay Lethal and against Darby Allin successfully. He's also now the TNT champion, which I'm sure has a whole lot more here, with Wardlow definitely having been his crosshairs. He's already defended that title successfully against AR Fox. But this is about the Ring of Honor Television Championship. The thing about this title, though, it's had a history of odd changes at times, more often at Final Battle. So let's just put that in perspective, despite the 2020 mischief and the hierarchy that happened to follow for a short time being. Samoa Joe, of course, the 30th Ring of Honor Television Champion. This title held by the likes of Jeff Cobb, Shane Taylor, Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Taven, and Christopher Daniels. 23 years in the game. Take on Juice Robinson, who's been in the game for 14 years. So youth is on Juice's side. Experience is definitely on Samoa Joe's side. When I think of Ring of Honor, there's many names you could really put to that banner. Samoa Joe's got to be like top 3. I think Samoa Joe is going to kill Juice Robinson. I feel like Juice is going to hit the left hand of God, but still somehow get choked out. I have Samoa Joe retaining, especially if he's calling himself the king of television for right now. JJ, what's your thoughts towards this?
Gimmick. Fuck yeah.
Dude, I picked Joe to retain this one. That I picked.
Hold on. JJ, you're coming in like robotic. We don't know why. There we go.
Yep,
there we go.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm going for Joe on this one to retain as well. I, like you said, when I think of Reign of Honor, I think Bryan Danielson, I think CM Punk, I think Samoa Joe. You know, so again, going back to kind of what I said about the Embassy, I think they want to try and keep that name recognition. And I'm not saying that Juice Robinson doesn't have a name. I just am not as familiar with him. But I think they want to try to keep it with the people that when you think Ring of Honor, you think these names. So that when they do get that bubble under them to relaunch, all these legends are there as champions and then can eventually put over the new guys, the next coming, if you will, of Reign of Honor talent.
Right.
So that's kind of the way I'm looking at this entire show. So Samoa Joe for me.
All right. James, you and I literally called a Ring of Honor Supercard this year, the first pay-per-view underneath the creative mind of Tony Khan. And Samoa Joe, he graced us at the end of the show, and it was like, okay, business just picked up. They're really trying to do some Ring of Honor here. So what's your take on Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson for the first time?
Well, Juice Robinson calls himself Rock Hard. Samoa Joe sees your rock, does the Hulk smash, and says puny rock. Said Joe's gone. Joe wins. Lol. I mean, that, like, as if we're gonna expect anything else here. Like, Juice Robinson, like, okay, Juice Robinson was the quote unquote United States champion. He's such a bad champion that he had to steal a belt from Will Ospreay, who's like one of the top 3 in the world. And then we're supposed to take this dude seriously as a contender after not even being able to dethrone Ospreay. He's got no shot in hell. If he didn't have a shot in New Japan, he ain't got a shot here. That's my logic. So
yeah, fair enough. And I think your logic's very sound. Samoa Joe, majority, Jeff, do believe he's going to retain 89%. 11% actually did go on Rock Hard Juice Robinson. Wouldn't surprise me if they were part of Bullet Club, not part of a different black and white brand. So, Jeff, what's your take towards this title match?
Well, first of all, I've got to say this. I've noticed this. JJ, dude, love the shirt.
Thank you.
Love the shirt. I mean, it was 42 years yesterday we lost John Lennon, so it's awesome to see that shirt. Now going on to this match, I think Rock Hard is going to go limp. That's I don't know how else to really put it. I like the guy. I like him in the ring, but I don't see him beating Joe. I just don't. And I totally forgot what James had said. It's like I forgot that he did technically steal the title from Ospreay, and it's like and I kind of see his point on that. But it's going to take a lot of. Well, I'm just going to stop talking because I'll get myself in trouble now. Joe for the win.
Hey, no, listen, all the innuendos.
My channel. Speak your mind and forever hold your peace. I dare
Please
you.
go. Please. Innuendos abound.
Okay. So Joe,
doing back in the past.
Juice is going to need Viagra to get through this match if he's going to stay rock hard. So
that's good. That's good. But I was going to say Joe's going to knock the Viagra out of him.
That would work too. Yep.
And it won't be on a pole.
And it won't be on a pole.
No, it's not going to be on a pole.
Buster. Hey, he might as well call it the cockbuster this time. Huh?
Little blue pills in the ring. That's right.
All right.
Hey, you invited me here, Noah. Just keep that in mind. You invited me here.
You had Jeff and I in the same call. You knew this was going to be a disaster.
Are you not entertained, people? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Wait. Hold on. I got one more. I promise.
Oh,
okay.
Lord. What?
So you just somebody said, Joe, Jeff, you said Samoa Joe's gonna make him go limp, right?
Mm.
Yep. So Joe is gonna be the cause of erectile dysfunction in more ways than one.
All righty then.
Moving on.
I do want to drop this one little nugget here.
Look what I started.
Innuendo.
No, it's not an innuendo. I'm trying to reel things back in here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The only way I could see Joe losing would be if Wardlow got involved. And I know Wardlow is not a Ring of Honor guy by nature, but considering Tony has his hands in both cookie jars, and the angle and the storyline that's been played out lately on AEW television,
right?
I could definitely see something like that happening,
right,
to cost Joe his title.
All right, let's go ahead and catch up on chat here. Everyone's saying Joe, James and Jeff, the J&J connection with Jay. That means you, JJ. You are definitely bringing the entertainment here.
Wait, JJ and J Security?
That's right.
Well, you
top flight security of the world, Craig.
What's up, King? Let's see here. We got Joe. Cleaver just said Joe's going to make you go limp. Poor Tony Storm. I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? I'm sure he wants All right, who's trying to pitch the tent here? Stop it. Stop it. No, stop it.
Joe is gonna break cock. Joe is gonna break cock.
Someone that calls himself rock hard, LOL. All right, fair enough. There's no paper involved here, but something even more paper is gonna beat rock. Sean Garner has a question here, so I'll leave this open to the panel. Who beats Samoa Joe for his title or titles? Now, we already talked about Wardlow, who clearly wants the TNT Championship, but I'd like to put out the name Powerhouse Hobbs, who right now is giving us a journey into the book of Hobbs and what he wishes to do after what he's been through. I would not count Powerhouse Hobbs out. I know we talk a lot about the heel versus face dynamic, but when it comes to AEW, and I'm seeing the Ring of Honor at times, that dynamic gets blurred, but still means something towards the result. So I would not count out Powerhouse Hobbs or Wardlow, clearly, taking off the TNT title. But as far as the television title, maybe they get the last real man professional wrestling Silas Young back into play here. We see how much that experience challenged each other. Maybe the professional Red Titus goes back after the title. Just to name a couple of people that actually held this title before. But what are y'all's thoughts besides those names, or maybe another name you have in mind?
I have no idea.
I'm a blank on this one. Like,
fair enough. Again, I look at the chat and I just, I try to bring the conversation, but right now there is a lot of suspension of disbelief on who could be next to challenge, let alone take these belts off. Bottom line, we all believe Juice is going to get pulped. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
he's going to get pulped. He's going to get pulped, and also, like I was going to say, you mentioned rock paper scissors. Well, then this means that. It's simply put, this time Scissors is going to make Rock go limp. He might actually just cut the whole thing off, doing the Olympic style. So, there you go. That's my last one. I promise.
Yeah, I think you just kicked him off, man. He's like, I'm done.
That's walk-off of Simply Predicted.
Damn it, James! You freaking idiot!
There it is. Whoop, there it is.
Okay, moving on from there. As we talk about absolute insanity, I'm honestly not sure if Keith Lee's at a breaking point between his past and what his future could bring. So let's go ahead and talk about this tag team match that originally was going to have a different dynamic in 2017, but the Black and Gold made sure that was not meant to be. It's Swerve in Our Glory taking on Shane Taylor Promotions, former Ring of Honor Television Champion Shane Taylor and J.D. Griffey taking on Keith Lee and whose house? Shane Swerve Strickland. Now, I don't want to use the proverbial catchphrase, can they coexist? Because that's a WWE thing. But Keith Lee literally says, can I trust you, bro? You got my back. And Swerve didn't get no words. He didn't even say indubitably. He just went, something tells me someone's going to give, but I can't decide if it's going to give during the match or afterwards. Either way, after this, I see Keith Lee going solo. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. So, James, let's start with you. What's your thoughts to this tag match?
Why are we still making this a thing? Like, I thought the breakup happened at Full Gear. Like, why is this a thing still? Why are they trying to prolong this? I don't get it. It's done. You flat Keith Lee. Keith Lee said, fuck yous, I'm out. And then they lost the titles. Well, why are they trying to bounce back? I don't get it. Just let it die. The team's dead. All right, it's gone. It's finito. Why are you still trying to continue this? Like, whatever. Shane Taylor Promotions. I can't even believe I'm saying that. That's a crying shame. But
really, at one point you were excited with the idea of Shane Taylor versus Keith Lee, and honestly, I wonder if that's a singles that could break down from this. But okay,
no, I like Shane Taylor. It's just Shane Taylor Promotions, take or leave.
Man, fair enough. I mean, they are former Ring of Honor six-man champions. Shane Taylor, one of the longer reigning.
Yeah, and they were on C-rate indies before they took it off him.
True that. Yeah. Again, what a weird time Ring of Honor went through, especially before 2020. Killed it. Live and Let Die. There's another summer for you. JJ, what's your thoughts towards this tag team match? What do you think the future should be, particularly maybe for Keith Lee?
Honestly, this is one of the matches that like made me scratch my head the most. It's like this should be a Rampage match.
This should be a 0-hour match.
You know,
I agree on both of your fronts.
Why are we wasting pay-per-view time with this? Like James said, it's like we saw the disintegration of Swerve in Our Glory. And as much as I did enjoy them as a tandem,
right,
clearly Tony Khan or whoever has the pen has got bigger plans. So I picked Shane Taylor as well just because this makes zero sense. This would be my bathroom break match.
Yep.
It's also weird considering, Jeff, this is the only match on this card not involving a title.
Yeah.
So what's your takes towards this, Jeff?
I'm in agreement. I thought the Swerve in Our Glory was done. I'm dumbfounded. I guess you could say it would be a bathroom break match, but you know, I don't want to miss the aftermath of the match where we officially see what happens between Strickland and Lee, because it's not going to happen during. I think it's going to happen after. I'm predicting Swerve getting pinned. And of course, Lee arguing about it, and then starting to walk away, Strickland gets him from behind. That's how I see it happening.
Now, I just wonder, though, does that mean that Swerve joins and over Shane Taylor Promotions? Like, did you bring in this ghost from Keith Lee's past just to get back at him because you blame him for your loss at Full Gear? In my opinion, this match really comes down to the storytelling of the future of Keith Lee and Swerve separately. Either way, I agree with all of you. I do believe that Shane Taylor Promotions will get the win during this too, but that will not be the story of this match. It will be what happened afterwards. And it looks like, to go with what you said, JJ, it's kind of split. The majority is going with Shane Taylor Promotions, 60%, while 40% are going with Swerve in Our Glory. Because again, Swerve and Keith Lee have an incredible dynamic as a tag team, but clearly the storytelling says that they should no longer be together. So again, final battle. What's the final chapter of this tag team? I guess we'll find out soon enough. All right.
For me, it's like a better use of Swerve at this point is to have him do it. You know how they're trying to rebuild up Hardy Party or whatever the heck, team and Matt Hardy with Private Party, which is, by the way, gone nowhere. It's been on YouTube, so there you go. There. Why not
Page at this point? If I'm going to be honest with you, but continue.
Why not put Swerve in that spot? Like, seriously, like Swerve with Private Party is a natural fit to me. I don't get, like, again, and don't accuse me of like trying to fucking segregate. Okay, I'm just pointing out the obvious with how they are. You know what I mean? Like personality wise, exactly. But personality wise, like they share the same thing. Well, except for Swerve, who's kind of going a little cuckoo with the smiles and shit. But like, I don't get the idea of like Swerve. Like Swerve should be a tag guy, but he should be in the trios division because he'd be a valuable asset there, I think, especially for two upstarts like Private Party who have kind of been jostled around at this point. Give him the freaking Swerve, and you can have your basically your own hit row. But
yeah, I was just gonna say it would be kind of like him with Hit Row. It really would if you stop to think about it.
But
yeah,
who knows?
But again, it'd be like which one can do it better. Again, what's original anymore in the wrestling industry that hasn't been done before at some point in history? Just saying. But either way, yeah, this match is just weird. I would have put this on 0 hour if I'm being honest with you. Maybe they'll change that. Shane Taylor Keith Lee storyline is for the hardcore ROH fan. It's putting a bow on a storyline we never got. That's true. Again, Shane Taylor, literally, Keith Lee and Shane Taylor.
They just booked Shane Taylor and Keith Lee. Like, why are you doing a tag match? That's all you needed to do. It's not hard.
Not a bad idea. Well, look, what does Jeff always say? And I'm pretty sure Jada says he's going to make it a shirt. It's not hard to book. It's just hard to finance.
And
simple as that. All right. Let's go ahead and move on from there and change the tone a little bit because we talk about Ring of Honor. Let's talk about a foundation truly set on Ring of Honor. Pure professional wrestling. As the Ring of Honor Pure Championship is on the line for the third time in, again, how fitting of a name, Final Battle, and these two are one-on-one. Put that in perspective. Daniel Garcia, the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, defends the gold one last time against Wheeler Yuta to show how far he's come and grown as a sports entertainer. Blackpool Combat Club versus Rubber Society. John Moxley said himself, it ends at this pay-per-view. This is the first match that literally decides that. Both of these men are incredibly technically sound. They're driven. We've seen more personality lately, though, for Daniel Garcia and these promos. But with Yuta, he literally was brought into Blackpool Combat Club, and it led to him winning this title. Daniel Garcia, of course, got the win over Yuta in his hometown on Dynamite. But when I think about Ring of Honor and you being in the face of pure wrestling, and this title's been defended a few times on Dark by Garcia, this one honestly could come down to judge's decision, I feel like, at this point, with how well these two know each other and how far this could go. Because again, pure wrestling is a chess game. It is strategy. It is exploiting your opponent to the point that they cannot out-wrestle you or you use the ropes to your advantage. And so far between these two, we've been lucky to see either man go beyond one rope break. So I'm very curious how this can go. So, Jeff, what's your thoughts towards this? And for those that don't know, a Ring of Honor Pure Rules match goes like this. It's been a foundation only in this company. And basically, you have a 20 count on the outside. Can't use a closed fist, otherwise you get a warning. Second closed fist, disqualification. Title can change hands via disqualification. Each participant has 3 rope breaks, but after that, moves and decisions are legal with the use or inside the ropes. And of course, also, there are no low blows. The closed fists are accountable everywhere except for a low blow and except to the face. There's also a code of honor before the match and after the match. And if the match goes to time limit draw, it will be rendered to a panel of judges' decisions. Judges could include, but not limited to, Christopher Daniels, BJ Whitmer, Sanjay Dutt, You name who. Jerry Lynn, who knows? So, Jeff, what's your thoughts towards this? This has to be, again, final battle between these two. Who deserves to be calling themselves going forward the Ring of Honor Pure Champion?
Well, first of all, Wheeler Yuta has really come into his own. And I think more so since he lost the Pure Championship. I've noticed a humongous improvement in his abilities in the ring. He's got kind of like a new fire under him. However, so is Garcia. So this is like one of the toughest ones for me to predict. Both of them, they're pretty damn close to being the same. I mean, like as you said, they know each other, front to back. It's probably going to go time limit. It wouldn't shock me. Really wouldn't shock me.
Yeah.
But I think overall, you're going to see Garcia walking out still the pure champion.
Agreed.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So, James, you clearly say that you agree. So let me ask you this, because at one point we did see both Wheeler Yuta and another member of our Comic Club as champions confronting the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. If Wheeler Yuta can't proclaim this title, do you maybe see that being his future? Because it sounds like you have Daniel Garcia retaining too.
Yeah, I do feel that this is going to be a Daniel Garcia win because they just put the belt on him. Like, when was the last time they fought? Because I remember that Daniel won it there, and this is the rubber match, right?
On Dynamite shortly after the last of our preview, Death Before Dishonor.
Right. So it would honest to God, I think it would be crazy if they went with Yuta, to be honest, when Garcia has yet to basically come into his own. I think Garcia is going to take the win here somehow. I could see a time limit as well, but either way, I'm sticking with Jeff's thing. It's like Garcia is going to retain that championship somehow. Before you go on to JJ, gotta step away for a second because my dad's going to be here with some groceries. Gotta help him put them away, and then I'll come back for the next match.
That sounds good. Well, JJ, again, we've seen the story of both Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia, their growth and development in AEW. One more so 100% as a professional wrestler. The other one challenged to either be a professional wrestler or sports entertainer. If you all watch the countdown, Daniel Garcia even said, this match is going to prove how much more I've grown versus you, choosing to be under Chris Jericho versus William Regal when you guys don't even have that guy with you anymore. So it feels like Daniel Garcia is coming in here maybe with a bit more confidence this time. When I look at their last match at the last ROH pay-per-view, Daniel Garcia, he was kind of a little bit trepid because he was trying to find himself, prove himself to both Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson. And when Daniel Garcia won the title, it was Bryan Danielson that endorsed him, putting the strap literally around his waist. Even though Daniel Garcia chose to go with Chris Jericho, the two have been going forward ever since as Ring of Honor champions. So, JJ, what's your takeaway towards this Ring of Honor Pure title match? Who do you think deserves the win more? And what's next for either man?
Well, I picked Wheeler Yuta to take the belt back.
I like it.
Let me just get that out of the way right here. But I think what this match really comes down to is creative plans for the Combat Club now that the Blackpool is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that going into the main event too, which I know we'll get to momentarily, I still feel like there's a lot of legs here in the Combat Club.
Mm-hmm.
And if Wheeler Yuta can win the title, then what Regal said in that pre-taped interview comes to fruition. They didn't need him anymore.
That's right.
If Wheeler Yuta loses, where do they go from here? You know what I mean? So the pendulum really swings either way, I feel, with this match. But I feel like Yuta's going to pick up the victory. I feel like the JAS is going to begin to crumble.
Well, here's my thing as I go last. And to be fair, again, this match is not 100%. A majority believe that Daniel Garcia will retain at 60, while 40% believe in Wheeler Yuta. You look at the final message and lesson from his lordship versus the growth of Daniel Garcia in sports entertainment. We already know the Jericho Society, they're going to remain as a unit no matter what, okay? It's young, youthful talent and veterans that Jericho and Hager, I guess you could say, have kind of put underneath their own helm at this point. And they all have their own spot, it feels like, in the AEW ecosystem. They're also going to be on Chris Jericho's next cruise as a whole unit. So that tells you right there, nothing's happening with this crew anytime soon. For me, though, I look at Wheeler Yuta and I think about that he holds a lot more pride towards what Ring of Honor represents, and that is wrestling fundamentals. I look at the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, it doesn't get more fundamental than a mat game when it comes to deciding the winner of this title. Could be a flash pin out of nowhere. That's literally how Wheeler Yuta got the best of Daniel Garcia at the last Ring of Honor pay-per-view for his honor, trapping him in the seatbelt. It's going to take something that neither of these two expect out of the other. I honestly wonder if Daniel Garcia might resort to dirty tactics, or if Hager will be in the corner. But figuring out this paper is the final chapter, per se, between JAS and BCC. One side has to come out more victorious than the other and has to make a statement. So I'm going with you. I think Wheeler Yuta needs to put a bow on this feud with him and Daniel Garcia and come out once again as the Ring of Honor Pure Champion for the long haul. I feel like there's more they could do with Daniel Garcia and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker as a trio in the Jericho Society as a different story after this whole Best of 7 series concludes. And honestly, I also wonder there might lead to a bit of combustible elements, maybe between Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, who I know at one point you thought those two were going to butt heads with each other. See if there's a different direction, particularly for the JAS, in Wheeler Yuta winning versus losing. So looking at that, I think Wheeler Yuta deserves this win more, and I'm going with a new champ. All right. Well, as we go from there, we talk about one half of the JAS versus the BCC. Let's go ahead and talk about the other half, where, again, if this man loses, you might literally get We the People again. Lord help us in 2023. As we have the Ocho, Chris Jericho defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against Claudio Castagnoli. And just to put this in perspective, it was Claudio Castagnoli who lost the title to Chris Jericho that ushered in the era of the Ring of Jericho. But I will say this, for Chris Jericho's credit, he has been quite a champion, especially as of late. He so far has held the title now for 79 days. And to think, this guy is 52 years old in his 32nd year of his wrestling career. That says a whole lot. This title held by the likes of Kevin Steen, Adam Cole, baby, Najee McGinnis, Jay Lethal, Samoa Joe, the Ocho, honor the Ocho. Chris Jericho's like, screw all that history. I'm the greatest Ring of Honor World Champion ever. Provato personified. But this will be his summit defense. He's already such a defended this against the likes of Dalton Castle, Bandito, Tomohiro Ishii, just to name a few people. We also saw at Full Gear, he survived a fatal four-way against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and of course, Sammy Guevara. Came this close to losing. This will be Claudio and Jericho's second ever singles match under AEW. And Claudio is putting it all out there. He has to win. He believes he needs to win this. He believes he needs to win the big one. Now, put a little bit of retrospective for you. You remember those particular two words at AEW Revolution where somebody had to win the big one because he never did it before, but he finally did? What happened? He accomplished it. For me, Claudio Castagnoli is the personification of a professional wrestler. Yes, he has a lot of character, but he carries himself more on the merit of wrestling. And Chris Jericho, he's been used to raise more of an identity for the Ring of Honor Championship. But I don't think he needs to be the face of it in the long haul like he was for the start of AEW. People are aware of ROH because Jericho has held it and defended it. But I feel Claudio now can successfully regain it and go the long haul with it. I think Claudio Castagnoli wins the final battle against the Ocho, and we have a new Ring of Honor World Champion. JJ, your thoughts?
I'm right there with you. You know, much like I said when it comes to Samoa Joe, much like I said when it comes to the Embassy and Prince Nana, you want those recognizable Ring of Honor faces to be your pillars, your cornerstones as we go into the next chapter of Honor. And Claudio Castagnoli one half of the Kings of Wrestling, alongside Chris Hero, is one of those names. And so, as much as I would love to see the Reign of Jericho champion on the first ever ROH show as champion, he's done this thing going against the ROH champions past and present, and like there's very little steam left in this engine. I mean, there's a ton of other ROH champions that he could pull from, but how many of them are realistic going to come on TV to just job to Jericho? You know, Frankie Kazarian is doing bigger things in Impact right now. He's not going to come over and just job to Jericho. Christopher Daniels is backstage. They can't work their shit out with Punk. We won't even go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, how much further can they really push this angle? It's time for Jericho to lose. It's time for the belt to go back to Double C, Claudio Castagnoli. The bar will be risen once again, and we will have a new Ring of Honor champion.
Well, history definitely holds up to that, Jeff, because in several previous Final Battle pay-per-views, we have seen the Ring of Honor title change hands, including Dalton Castle beating Cody, PCO beating Rouge, and Kyle O'Reilly, of course, beating Adam Cole. We've also seen it defended, though, under extreme circumstances by the like of Kevin Steen against El Generico and Davey Richards defeating Eddie Edwards, but that was all the way back in 2011, 2012. More recently, the title has changed hands, particularly at this pay-per-view, and has set the course for a new champion, at least in the short haul, too. Do you see that trend once again happening here tomorrow night?
Yeah, I had when Jericho won the title, you knew what my reaction was. Why?
Yes.
Why are you putting this title on Jericho? He's really got nothing other than the fact that that's the only title he had won. He really has nothing left to prove. We know he is. He's one of the best there ever will be in that ring. We already know it's been proven many times over. However, taking it off of Castagnoli was a big mistake in my eyes, because look at what Jericho's done with that title. He's made a mockery of that title, a mockery of Ring of Honor, not to mention the announcers, the commentators, the ring announcer. I mean, attacking the ring announcer. I mean, this is what they wanted. I think having it going back on Claudio is the best thing they can do. And honestly, I do not see Claudio joining the Jericho Appreciation Society. I really don't. Not if you want to keep the Combat Club, keep it going. Because if he goes over there and ends up losing to Jericho, you can say goodbye to the trio that was. So I personally think that Claudio has to win this. You're right, and I think he will.
JJ, you have a point to make.
Yeah, I just wanted to counterpoint what Jeff said. You know, despite the fact that I picked Double C against Jericho, Jericho didn't necessarily make a mockery of Ring of Honor. He brought more eyes to it.
Different take.
You know, it may not have been the most positive light, but Jericho as Ring of Honor champion got people talking about Ring of Honor in a way that it hadn't been talked about in a very long time.
I completely agree.
And while Tony Khan is trying to shop around for a television or a streaming deal, more people are going to know who Chris Jericho is than are going to know who Claudio Castagnoli is. Right. No disrespect to Double C, but he spent the better part of a decade as a completely different gimmick.
And he never was the guy. He was always part of a team.
So that's what Jericho as champion did. It was a bold move, and I think it was an intelligent move. That's why I would not be opposed to Jericho still being champion for the very first Ring of Honor TV show. Because you know people are going to tune in to see Chris Jericho as the Ring of Honor champion. Even if he loses it on that first show, you're going to get those ratings.
I guess it'd just be a matter of who would confront him. But you also do bring up an interesting point as I bring it to you, James. This will be the first time ever Chris Jericho will be involved in wrestling on Ring of Honor. Think about that. He's wrestled in WCW, New Japan, WWF, AEW. He's wrestled literally every landscape possible, practically. And now he's going into a Ring of Honor pay-per-view as their champion. Do you see him coming out with it, though?
Well, I went with it already because I submitted my form. So I'll say double C. I could see. I absolutely could see Claudio. Nah, you know what? Actually, can you edit your predictions forms if you wanted to?
Yeah, I always allow that option. Your predictions
okay, cool.
Until I close the form.
All right, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change my pick then, and I'm actually gonna go with Jericho. I'm gonna go with the wild card then.
I love it.
The reason being, I think they are gonna go with that regard. I think they're gonna wait until they can find somebody. And I'm not saying Claudio isn't championship worthy. Don't misread my words. I think he was more than relevant person to carry the belt.
Yeah. We called him defending it against Konosuke Takeshita.
Yeah. So I think it was fine. It's just, I'm personally, for me, I think more eyes will be if Jericho is the champion. You know what I mean? That's just how I see it.
But the flip side of that coin, James, is when do we get a TV or streaming deal? You don't want Jericho to hold the belt for a year.
Right.
No, I agree.
It's like if the deal isn't going to come and be announced either on the broadcast or at the scrum, get the belt off him. If that announcement is going to come at the show or on the scrum, keep it on him. It's basically what it comes down to for me.
And again, I feel like a lot of people agree with you there because it comes down to the familiarity versus what can happen. There's still uncertainty, like you said. And it's pretty partisan here. 58% believe that the Ultra will retain, while 41% believe that Claudio will regain. So again, if nothing else, this pay-per-view is definitely polarizing, whether you're thinking about the TVN things or Ring of Honor type things. A lot of these matches truly could go either way. And it really could come down, like you said, to that streaming deal and the longevity of it in either happening or actually being official. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But I love the fact we're all just polarized here. And again, Claudio, he's also the younger one here, 41 years of age, 21 years in the game. Still has a lot more to offer, while Chris Jericho has done everything. We still have yet to see Claudio for the long haul be the face of a company as their champion. And you wonder if this victory over Jericho is that hurdle that Claudio needs to raise that star power and that belief in the fans.
I think the whole thing with it is like if Jericho wins, then whoever defeats him on the first show is going to be like it was the same way they did the AEW build. Jericho was the champ, and then they dropped it to Moxley, who was basically the face of AEW at that point, and especially in the pandemic.
I think, but yes,
right. My thing is like Jericho has to lose it to somebody that A, he hasn't already fought before, and B, will be an exciting enough signing that will get people talking.
Right.
That's my thing with that. And it has to be somebody new, I think, as well.
People think that someone like Nigel McGuinness should show up just to be announced as maybe the
Oh my God, Nigel and Jericho, yes, please. Holy shit. I'd lose my mind if Nigel came out.
One match. Come out of retirement for one match. What the hell is retirement in the wrestling industry, right?
Well, I mean, we have heard the rumblings that he's cleared to go. He's no longer got what he had before, so he very well could be coming back.
James, you and I both know, and Jada can attest to this really being in the ring, the worst thing for a wrestler is time off. He's been out of the game for a long damn time. But I would not be upset to see this built, not just booked overnight. All right. Well, speaking of building, talk about building a brand new attitude. I guess we'll see who truly is the meanest badass here, but who deserves to call themselves Ring of Honor Women's World Champion.
Oh, I didn't miss anything, right?
Well, I mean, hindsight's 2020.
Well, no, I didn't miss anything before I had to leave.
No, you didn't miss anything before, brother. As a rivalry brought back since Simmer 2011 culminates for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Mercedes Martinez defends the gold against Athena, and after her crazy near 20-minute bout with Serena Deeb that put her on the injury shelf, I'm curious with Athena's brand new attitude, how far she can push this traveled journey woman. So let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit, shall we? Mercedes Martinez is the third Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, this new inauguration of this title, 22 years in the game, versus Athena, who's 15 years in the game. This will be Mercedes Martinez's sixth defense, though, of this title. Again, her last defense was the before the Honor against Serena Deeb. We all thought it was Deeb's time. Somehow Mercedes surpassed the Professor, and it took pretty everything to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the fifth one-on-one encounter, though, between Athena and Mercedes Martinez. And with the exception of a double countout, Athena has beaten Mercedes every single time. So, James, do we have a new Ring of Honor Women's World Champion with this new attitude that Athena developed?
I think yes. Multiple reasons why I think yes. I love Mercedes, but for whatever reason, they cannot book the Latinas properly in AEW. I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's some juju or what, but they just don't put them in a prominent spot on television, even when they should be and should be respected.
It's wrestling.
So I think he's going to go with Athena. It's just how it is. I think Athena, personally, is going to be the one that actually replaces Kiera Hogan in the baddies as well. Because it wouldn't shock me with her new attitude as of late that there's some shenanigans by the baddies and they get her the championship. I absolutely could see that happening. So either way, whether it's by shenanigans or she just does it clean, Athena's getting that belt.
All right.
I love Mercedes, by the way. I say that with all due respect to Mercedes. I think
fair enough. And Mercedes has only been involved, I believe, in one match on Dark, while Athena's been involved in matches constantly on Dark, Rampage, and Elevation, and she's been clocking people in less than 2 seconds. It was the match in Canada, against veteran Jody Frett, where those boos kind of just woke up Athena to remind herself who she was. And we've seen what it's taken her since, including a suspension and decking Aubrey Edwards. Jeff, what's your thoughts towards Athena's new attitude? She's already previously challenged for the TBS championship, fell short, but this was before she adopted this whole new level of self-found confidence, I feel like, where she feels like she's untouchable. Is it her time to finally be Ring of Honor Women's World Champion?
I think personally this is the best time for her to get this newfound attitude and outlook on. I mean, especially when you're facing someone as tough as Mercedes. I mean, she is, and I've said this time and time again, one of my favorite matches, you got to go back. It was an 1.5-hour Iron Woman match with Tessa Blanchard, and there was no winner. There was no winner in 90 minutes. I mean, I that's the one match I always look when I talk about Mercedes Martinez. It's that you're going to see that kind of Mercedes at this match. So in order to match up with that, Athena with this new leaf on things, a turn of leaf on things, if you will, this is what she needed to do to match up with Martinez. Is it going to be enough? We haven't seen Athena champion since NXT. Am I correct on that?
You are correct.
Okay. I think it's not quite that time yet. I think Mercedes has still got a little bit more in that tank. And I think she's going to surprise people with a win over Athena. I mean, everyone's probably thinking Athena's got this in the bag. Don't count Mercedes out. I think personally, Mercedes is walking out still your Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
Well, again, I think about experience. I think about motivation. I think about suspension of disbelief. James and JJ were probably with me, and whoever was on that panel with me during that time, I thought it was Deeb's time because Deeb is even more experienced and respected for what she has done and gone through in this industry. and what she still does to this day. And she don't even know what her legacy really is or what it's going to be. But she just, wants to be respected for what she does in wrestling. In a way, I see a lot of similarities between Deeb and Martinez. And ever since that match, it's kind of hard for me to bet against Mercedes Martinez. So I'm actually with you. I do think Mercedes right now has a lot to prove why she did get this title in the first place. Not only got it officially from Little Nightingale, but successfully claimed it from Deonna Purrazzo and successfully retained it against Serena Deeb. With the fact she's back from injury, I do think she is going to be a foundation of Ring of Honor. It just feels like it fits her more. And with Athena's new attitude, it will carry her far. But I don't think Athena necessarily needs this title. I don't think necessarily she needs a title. But this newfound attitude has definitely brought more of a personality to her that maybe she'll get actually booked more on Dynamite. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm with you. I think Mercedes is going to retain. But JJ, what the baddie was talking about earlier, again, she literally faced your bitch for that title and lost at AEW All Out. I can't see Athena becoming a baddie, but she might become a bad influence on the women's division in her own right, whether she just runs reps over everybody or maybe, get somebody underneath her wing because she is the fallen goddess. But do you see Athena rise to the occasion coming out as Ring of Honor Women's World Champion?
I do see Athena taking the strap here, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, Noah. I liked where James was coming from about Athena joining the baddies, but Athena is an alpha female. She is not a follower. She's a leader. But you've got Kiera Hogan, who was unceremoniously fired from the baddies. And Athena could just kind of bring her over into her fold, and we can start to build a second faction so that it's Athena and her crew against Jade and her crew.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Different take. By the way, 62% do believe there will be a new women's champion. 37% do believe that Mercedes will retain. So again, this match could go either way. A lot of these matches, like you said, JJ, really comes down to what is the long-term streaming future of Ring of Honor. Because in my opinion, 2023, you can't have AEW and Ring of Honor under the same ecosystem. It has to freaking separate.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Tony Khan and co. have been able to maintain a year of pay-per-views and title history, prominent placement of the brand on Dynamite and Rampage, sometimes to the point where they're pushing down AEW's own belts in favor of promoting the ROH titles.
Yep.
You can't have that for another year.
No.
You either have to combine the titles and unify them, or that deal has to be announced and made. But you cannot do another year of what you've been doing. It was great for planting the seeds. A lot of names are now known because of the 2 TV shows, and to a lesser extent, Dark and Elevation. But you need, coming in 2023, like there needs to be that announcement as they go off the air tonight.
Right.
And Athena, no disrespect to Mercedes, because I'm not as familiar with her, but I think the casual fan would be more familiar with Athena, Ember Moon. So you want that presence on your TV deal as champion to start.
All right. Fair enough. Again, we talk about who should be the faces of Ring of Honor. Well, you want to talk about faces of Ring of Honor? Honorable, dishonorable, noticeable. It doesn't get more familiar than these two in particular. And you want to talk about Final Battle? This is the reason why this pay-per-view is called Final Battle. Let's freaking go. The Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships will main event the pay-per-view once again as FTR goes round 3 with the Briscoes, but this time, double dog collar match. What in the holy fuck were these 4 thinking? Okay, let's go ahead and try to break this down a little bit, shall we? FTR and the Briscoes, they set up a standard for tag team wrestling, especially in Ring of Honor. back at the freaking Supercard of Honor, where James and I were losing our damn minds. And then we went to another level at Depth for Dishonor, when they went 2 out of 3 falls. And so far, FTR has gotten the better of the Briscoes in both those matches. But to the Briscoes' credit, they have literally gotten a fall on FTR, just don't have the titles. The Briscoes, of course, literally the first inaugural 2 in the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame, 12-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And when it comes to end games in their tag wars, whether you want to talk about the Kingdom, whether you want to talk about Lethal Aggression, whether you want to talk about GOD, Guerrillas of Destruction, that I saw live, back in Summer Supercars 2019. They've been for everything. Ladder Wars, Barbed Wire Massacre, battles, you name it, under all different fronts. This is a double dog collar match, though. And honestly, anything goes. This isn't going to be where boys play safely. This is going to be where grown men fight and bleed and shed wounds on a legacy and history. James, you've already had so much to say about the Briscoes and their deal and the fact they're under this. And truth be told, I mean, their names were tentatively announced on Dynamite thanks to the Butt Boys. But I got to ask you, James, when we look at that FTR, they came this short becoming 8-star. They lost out on 1 set of tag team championships. They still have the 3 sets, knowing they have to defend at least one of those other sets in less than a month. January 4th at Wrestle Kingdom. Is FTR about to lose one of their other sets of titles? Do the Briscoes, them boys, finally reclaim the Ring of Honor Tag Team Gold?
The only way I see that is if there's no television deal yet and they let the Briscoes have one last run. I made a crazy pick before I made a couple crazy picks, I guess, with Jericho and Athena. I'm not going to do it with the last one. This is basically the Briscoe swan song, which I think is such a shame. We live in a time where you cannot repent and make up for your past transgressions, and this is where we're at now, where the Briscoes are no longer going to be with Ring of Honor, and it's one of those low-key reasons why I just can't even begin to tell you why. This is one of the reasons why it's like, goddamn, like I can't watch wrestling anymore weekly. And I only say that because it's like, why are you gonna let a team of this caliber go when they have light years still to offer, years of knowledge to offer? How are you gonna do that to guys who have more than made up for that? But it is what it is. FTR are going to retain. I really want, like, I'll be honest with you. They've been canceled for a while, Lang. You can find out all about that in a Google search. This is my thing. If the Briscoes win, I will legit be very happy, because that means that they did freaking take another look and be like, okay. But somehow I doubt that. Never. They're so quick to be like, oh, the Briscoes suck. The Briscoes suck for what they did back in freaking 2010 when the internet was in its freaking infancy. Let's completely disregard the fact that the very people that they were making fun of, and I'll always bring this up every time, worked with Effie, who is a gay black man who had nothing but positive things to say about the Briscoes. Just saying.
In a world where sensitivity might as well be the word of the year, I mean, I can definitely understand where you're coming from. Lord help the human race. I don't know, James. I look at it like this, because when it comes to the Briscoes and the war of tag teams that they usually have been against, when it comes to a trilogy in their storytelling, they usually come out on top in the end. I don't necessarily know what the future holds for FTR now that they lost out on the AEW Tag Team Champions. Let's put that in perspective, all right? For me, though, I look at Ring of Honor, you can't have tag team wrestling without the Briscoes in the same sentence. And like you said, I feel there is a lot more they still can do with them. This is the hardest match for me to call, because I don't know the future of either of these two teams. All I know is FTR will be involved at Wrestle Kingdom, and clearly they're going to be involved at some point in AAA. but they just lost down the AWA Tag Team Championships. Do you literally have them lose 2 title matches in the same week across 2 different companies? Is FTR as a tag team, are their stars finally running out of energy? I don't know. I'm torn on this one. And looks like it's 2-to-1 ratio with FTR retaining as well. So you are with the majority, but fudge it. It's the final friggin' pay-per-view of the year. Simply predicting. Go big or go home, go wild. And I already watched their promo 8 damn times because that's how much I appreciate this tag team and their personality. What I wouldn't give to see them rip on the Usos. Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? That being said, I gotta go with them boys. They are Ring of Honor tag team champions for life, in my opinion. They need it. They deserve it. FTR have done incredible things in the tag team industry, but I feel there is more potential in Dax. Maybe going on a singles run after what the matches we've seen him go literally one-on-one with. I'm going to say the Briscoes get it back. I'm saying them boys.
I hope to God you're right. Like, I will literally not be mad if I'm wrong, because, like, that's the best outcome. Like,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Go ahead.
Right?
I'll get it, JJ.
And this is me.
Go ahead.
And this is a strong take, hot take.
Well, you are your own fan. Go ahead.
I am my own fan. If the Briscoes cannot be in Ring of Honor, fold the fucking company. Seriously, fold the company. Like, I don't even want to see them on TV. I will not tune into their product. And I guarantee you a lot of other people that want to actually give them a second chance feel the exact same fucking way I do.
Again, depending on what side you're on, AEW or Ring of Honor, you very well could be right. I know Sandy Folk will be.
I ain't on either side right now lately.
But maybe that's for the best.
Probably.
JJ, what's your take when it comes to FTR? I mean, at this point, FTR, they literally have done everything possible that you could do practically in tag team wrestling. Their legacy is a firm, but when it comes to Ring of Honor, this is the Briscoes' home. They've been there since day one. Back when this company first opened, they have been the tag team, honor or dishonor alike, of Ring of Honor. And Jay Briscoe's even a former Ring of Honor world champion. These guys have done it all. They've killed each other one-on-one at times, too. These guys will do absolutely anything possible to come out with these straps. So what's your take?
Well, in the words of the Jeff Meacham t-shirt, see, here's the thing.
Oh, here we go.
This match was probably the hardest one for me to pick a decider for.
Same.
And that should be a tell to everybody how much thought I really put into this, because I can't fucking stand the Briscoes on a personal level, like legit. And the fact that it took that hard and that long for me to debate over this says everything that you need to say.
Fair enough.
On one hand, I'm sitting here all predictions, saying that if a deal is going to be announced, you need those tried and true people that are first ballot names you associate with the company to be with the champions. That would be the Briscoes in a nutshell.
Yes.
However, FTR and the run they've been on as ROH champions, while maybe not being on the same level of name recognition as them when you think Ring of Honor, they've freaking laid everything out there lately, to the point where PWI, take them for what they are, named them the number 2 tag team of the year, only behind the Usos.
Oh, come on.
Let's save a hot take for that for open mic.
I was going to say, James, take it for what it is. Okay, we know what they usually put into these magazine rankings and everything, but
yeah, right.
the fact that they are still right there neck and neck, FTR has a lot that they want to go out there and prove as to why they should have been number 1. And then you look at the type of the match here.
Right.
Dog collar match, double dog collar match. That should favor the Briscoes. But I have a feeling that FTR is going to get the victory here. They have something to prove here to the world that they should have been number 1 and done. And like Noah pointed out, do you really have them job twice in the same week.
That's a hard
For a team that's holding 3 separate tag team titles.
Yeah.
You really going to make them job twice in a week? And if this is the Briscoes' last hurrah, their final battle, if you will, what better way than to go out looking at the lights? Because if they do give the Briscoes the title and they do announce a TV deal and the Briscoes cannot be part of it because of the bull crap, then you strip them of the belts and do a tournament?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, these are things that you've got to look at in the predictions. And that's all that thrown into the pot is why I picked FTR to retain. If I knew for a fact that the Briscoes could still be a part of Ring of Honor with the TV deal, as much as I can't stand them, I would have picked the Briscoes.
Yeah, again,
Because it goes with everything else I've preached the entire show here about how you need those pillars to be the foundation of your relaunch.
Yep.
exactly.
But FTR takes it for me.
Ooh,
Just-
you're almost making me want to change my pick, but
I
If I
can't.
can make Noah change his pick with as little as I know about Ring of Honor or even contemplate it, that tells me I did a damn good job with my speech, gentlemen.
damn it, JJ, damn it! I'm gonna have to relook at the countdown. Damn it! I'm gonna watch both matches too. Damn it! Fuck!
Love
Most
you, Noah.
polarizing tag team match for me this year. The tag team rival of the year. The top 2 tag teams in all professional wrestling. And these two are going to be in a freaking double dog collar match. What in the holy hell? Oh, God. All right. Well, the fact that we are partisan right now says a whole damn lot. Jeff, you close out Ring of Honor Final Battle with the final pick and final talk of the night. Who leads the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions?
You know, I really can't say a whole hell of a lot on this because these two covered everything. There's nothing really left for me to say. But who I think will walk out. Is this Briscoe's match? Yes. Double dog collar. Obviously. 100% their match. Does the Briscoes have their issues, obviously, with TK? It's a given. Obviously, he doesn't like them. That's why they've never been on AEW. But Ring of Honor, let's put them on there. Let's have them lose. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Unfortunately, I like the Briscoes. I like what they bring to the table. It's something that you don't see a hell of a lot of.
No.
And I really like them. Now, if FTR, which I did pick to retain, does retain, where does this put the Briscoes? That's the question out of all of us. Where do they go?
Exactly.
Because obviously they're not going to continue on in Ring of Honor.
No.
Would there be, I don't know, possibly Triple H signing them? I could see that kind of brutality now that he's in charge. I could see that up there. And then we could get
It will happen.
Briscoes, Usos. Holy shit.
I'll tell you exactly why it will happen. If they're willing to bring in Brian Kendrick for a one-off to Angel the Mask, they'll bring in the fucking Briscoes, guaranteed.
Yeah.
The Usos versus the Briscoes is a must if they do.
Yeah. I think, honestly, that is what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now, will it happen right away? No, I could see it happening in maybe the summer. I really could see it, right around late spring, early summer. So we're talking, maybe May, somewhere in that vicinity. But because, they've got to dig out they got to complete their contract and everything like that. And I don't know if Ring of Honor has a no compete clause, or if they go by that kind of thing. But I could definitely see it, even as early as possibly right after WrestleMania. I could see that happening. And could we see Briscoes take the titles off Usos? That could be the team to do it. So I'm thinking that, I'm thinking long term that FTR is going to keep these titles, but how burnt out is this going to make them? They have held 3 sets of titles, as you stated, for how long now? They have gone to Japan. They have gone here. They have gone there. They have done all this traveling, sometimes 3, 4 different places in a week.
Yeah.
How burnt out are they going to get continuing on with this? I have them winning it, but I think once they relaunch, they're going to lose it. They're going to start losing that title. Then they may lose the AAA title. And then they would be finally losing the 3rd title, giving them a well-needed break. Because these guys have been going balls to the wall for well over a year. And I think that, you know, as much as it pains me to say Briscoe's not winning the titles, FTR is going to go out the champions, but I can guarantee you what I had just told you is probably what's going to happen.
I understand that, folks. He might be onto something, but I also do think about this. You talk about them losing each set of straps one at a time. Realistically speaking, Aussie Open most likely will be challenging these guys at Wrestle Kingdom for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships January 4th in Japan in the Tokyo Dome. They lost on the AW Tag Team Championships. Theoretically, they lose on the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. They lose on the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Only leaves AAA. You literally might have FTR with no straps before the end of January if, theoretically, the Briscoes come out victorious tomorrow. So either way, it feels like right now they've hit their massive number of stars, and they might finally start taking it easy, like you said, losing these straps one at a time. That's why I do think the Briscoes somehow will come out victorious. But again, honestly, it comes down to the uncertainty in the booking and the capability of officially announcing streaming. We'll know within less than 24 hours. And Sean Garner with a hot take here. If that happens, guarantee you that Greg Cherry will definitely be watching Wrestle Kingdom. And the fact, them boys need a win over FTR. Well, I kind of agree with you on that consensus, and that's why I'm going to, you know, go down with the ship of burning. I'm going to stick with my gut and say that them boys come out on top. And with that being said,
I really hope you're right, because like
I would love to be right. Just
on this one, like they need. I don't know. Like you can't have Ring of Honor without the Briscoes for a multitude of reasons. You know.
You can't. The bottom line, if I don't get a Briscoe promo with Mark eating a cup of pudding and Jay just going crazy at the camera talking all that shit, then I don't have Ring of Honor in front of me. I was about to go Briscoe promo on about the PWI, but I'll save that for open mic night.
It all depends on that TV deal. Really.
Could you imagine, just a little fantasy here, could you imagine if the Briscoes had gone against circa 97-98 ECW Dudley Boys?
Yes!
Oh my God.
The amount of wood that would break.
That would have been sick, yeah.
And who would have been the baby face? Because, like, for real.
It would have been.
They all would have been.
They all would have been. They'll either be the babyface or the heel, but they'll be cheered either way, and you don't know what the hell's going on, and everybody's would be like, "Yeah, break your fucking spines. Let's go."
Violence, James. Violence. That's all the people crave. Violence.
Yep.
And ECW and Ring of Honor when the Briscoes were around is best shitty.
Violence is real. How about that? All right. Well, folks, believe it or not, that concludes the first half. We're going to go to our second half now, which will be super short because we are reaching a deadline for SmackDown, but we're going to now talk about NXT deadline. And honestly, I'm just going to put this perspective. I feel like Jada can even agree with me. There's 2 matches here that are worth talking about more than the other ones on this card. And I'm not just saying it because you don't have the NXT North American, the NXT Women's Championship on the line, but because the brilliant creative mind of Shawn Michaels and company decided to do their own fusion. Oh, wait, that's the wrong graphic. This. We have a unique combination of King of the Mountain, Forge Slash, Championship Scramble. The best and the worst you could call of TNA, WWF, etc., etc. With that being said, let's talk about NXT Deadline. Because yes, folks, it's a double feature weekend. And your opinions, of course, still matter too. And the link for the forum is in the description down below. We're just going to get right into it. And I'm not even going to circle around everybody for this one because, seriously, How much do you not have anything in the name of tag team wrestling? I dare somebody to say that they believe that this match will actually mean something for the division. Because, yes, boy, the NXT tag team champions are on the line, pretty deadly defend against not the Creeds, not Gallus Boys, not Brooks and Jensen, not the Tree Huggers, not insert team here from this brand I don't know. SmackDown team. The New Day.
Yeah.
Seriously,
deadly
AJ,
retain.
what's going on with your NXT? Did they not have a tag team division? You're kicking this thing off.
Okay, so they do have a tag division, Noah. Much as you wouldn't like to admit it or acknowledge it, they do have a tag division. But this is something I've noticed a lot here in the last few months. Specifically ever since the Vince McMahon era ended, is that there's been a lot more cross-pollination between the main roster and NXT.
Yep.
Trying to give the NXT guys an opportunity to work with the caliber of stars that they're going to have to work with once they get called up to the main roster, and kind of judge and gauge if they are ready or not. You know, we think back to Cora Jade versus Natalya. We think back to Braun Breaker and Dolph Ziggler. You know, so this is something that's been happening a lot lately. And I think the powers that be are actually pretty high up on Pretty Deadly, because this isn't the first time I think that they've faced a tag team from the main roster. So I think that sooner rather than later, we're going to see them probably on SmackDown. I think SmackDown is where they would work best. I couldn't see them on Raw.
Yeah.
No.
You sure about that? With Last Legend, they could literally get maximum amount of miles of run for their money in the fashion department.
No. Pretty
No.
Deadly is way more over than freaking fashion.
Yeah, that's a shame. Pretty
I'm-
Deadly is more over than Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Damn. All right.
Yep.
Whoa. Okay. Continue.
But I definitely see Pretty Deadly retaining the titles here, because it's not like the New Day is going to be around to be on NXT on a regular basis. That's a serious demotion for the New Day. And even though Dolph did take the title from Braun, it was only for like a couple of weeks.
Right.
Leading into WrestleMania.
Plus, because Ziggler's really fallen off. Probably should have left 5 fucking times.
Yeah. That's neither here nor there, James. But like I said, I've been noticing this trend here lately where the people that the grumblings are going on about being, you know, the high ups being like into them, you kind of see them start getting these matches to see if they're ready for the big leagues. So that's pretty much what's going on here, I think.
Well, I'm just going to say this. As long as I've called these non-takeover NXT experiences with you, particularly the main roster versus your NXT. Not my NXT!
I was waiting for it.
It feels like they're only doing this with your tag team divisions. They've done it now with the women's tag team. Now they're doing it with the men's tag team. And with this new crop of collegiate athletes, I almost feel like NXT is a school. And I'm not talking about Chase U, which I also think is a dumb gimmick. It feels like to me, your deadline show is the final exam to see who passes or fails to stay or move on from NXT. Because
I hate this.
Crop of freshmen and women come in. I don't know what the world your place is doing.
That's actually not a bad way to look at it, because I kind of see the same thing. I mean, you think about it, this is the last show of the year, last major show for NXT. Coming out of this is the Rumble. Right. You know there's going to be some of these cats in the Royal Rumble match. Right. There's always a little bit of NXT representation.
Right.
You know, and then you think about the possibility of those people flipping into a main roster name.
Change their name again from NXT. Why not?
So this very easily could be the final exam of sorts. And once we get to the Iron Survivor matches, it's really what I'm looking at for those matches. But for this one, like I said, I think it goes to Pretty Deadly, because we're not going to have the New Day take the straps and go on one of their 400 and something historic title reigns for NXT. But you know,
All right.
what else is the New Day going to do while the Usos have that stranglehold?
Market Bootios. I don't know. Sean Garner said the NXT PLE will no longer be in Orlando, Florida. They're going to be on the road. Okay.
Oh,
And
they tried that last time.
Yeah, starting with Vengeance in February.
I
They're
did
supposed
hear.
to
I
be
did
in,
hear
like,
about that. I guess
North
will be
Carolina,
their
I
first
think.
one.
Yeah, just call it Vengeance, by the way. Stop calling it Vengeance Day.
I mean, if it takes place on
It's
Valentine's
awful.
Day, I can see why they call it Vengeance Day. But yeah, I do agree. Also, Vengeance, bring that pay-per-view back. That was awesome. I actually had.
Just making NXT Vengeance.
If they're going to do it on Valentine's Day, resurrect the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Thank you. That'll actually take a high school soap opera drama with Duke Hudson, whatever that girl is that he's in class with. All right, 'cause that actually makes sense for teenagers.
Wow.
That being said, believe it or not, Jeff and James, it's 50-50 on this NXT tag team title match.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it.
I figured it would be.
So,
Because a lot of people like the New Day and they want to see them do something because they've been wallowing in misery for 400 something days.
Well, I mean, the Usos have both pair of straps, so honestly, who's to blame for that? Like I said, your tag team division literally is under one team across the whole company. Meanwhile,
I didn't book that.
I don't know about that. Hey, listen, the Usos haven't gotten to NXT yet. Maybe that's what they're building to. I'm just saying.
Jeff, James, do either of you think the New Day are going to win the straps?
Hell no.
I do. I do.
Okay.
And here's why. Here is why.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Listen me on this one.
I am.
We have yet to see a Triple Crown winner in the tag team division in the WWE.
Oh, crap.
Oh, jeez,
Now-
you're right.
Now, New Day has held the Raw titles, and they have held the SmackDown titles. Yes, Xavier is totally familiar with NXT. Kofi is not. So that's the downfall. That is the downfall.
Wait. No,
But-
they're trio, the Triple Crown, because they had the pennies, and then they got the 2 dimes. All
But-
right, no, we don't need to see that again.
But they have yet to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. They've
But
got a
pennies-
chance. They have a chance to do this. Okay? And if they do, then they're one up on the Usos, and they have every right to brag about it. Now, Usos bragging about 500 plus days, breaking the New Day's record. Fine. New Day comes in, takes the titles. That's something they haven't done. So, now will I say it's going to be a lengthy reign? No, I'm not. It might be about as long as, Dolph Ziggler had with the NXT title. I am fine with that. But then they can go down in history being the first ever Triple Crown winners in tag team in the WWE. That is the only reason I am picking New Day to beat Pretty Deadly.
That's a hot take, and honestly, he's got a very compelling argument.
That's
Not gonna lie.
interesting. I hadn't even thought about that. That is
Neither.
that's a hell of a take there,
But-
Jeff.
But
I'm not even being a smartass. I applaud
Thank you very much.
Something
I was
didn't think
hoping
about.
you didn't say anything about it, so I'm over here like this, waiting. I'm like, yes.
Kofi Kingston.
But I'm the
Kofi
tag
Kingston
team
never was
champion.
involved in this NXT. Only
No.
Xavier Woods was.
Correct.
Big E.
But I'm the tag team champions.
I'm the tag team champions.
I'm the tag team champions.
I'm the tag team champions. I got the
I'm
dime penny combo to prove it.
All right, well, invest that in
Damn it,
maybe
James.
Kiana James' business, where she's trying to turn Fallon Henry's bar into an apartment complex, whatever that's going to.
Invest that into the crypto market.
Right.
Oh, hell.
I think
You know
there's
what
a
I mean?
fucking
That's a conversation for another day.
there's a compass on this thing.
He's got a token from Chuck E. Cheese.
All right, well,
You know
else
what?
do you have for
Honestly,
us?
that's probably what it is. And I just randomly
You know
have
what,
it sitting
James,
in my
you
room.
keep your little trinket. I feel like Isla Dawn wants something else from Alba Fire here, even though she loves collecting stuff. After Isla Dawn cost Alba Fire getting the NXT Women's Championship from Mandy Rose in the last woman standing match, these two, no strangers to each other from NXT UK. A dark witch has fallen now to put I guess you could say a phoenix to ash.
You say
Firebird
wait. You say
or
Dark
Isla
Witch.
Rai?
Which
That's
one?
what this comes down to. Grudge match, Isla Dawn's debut. Not much more to say. I figured it like this: if it's your debut, you need to win. This is WWE, right? I'm a Fire though.
Win.
She's had a chance for the title, came up short twice. I feel like I'm a Fire, as I said earlier, JJ. Final exam. I feel like I'm a Fire is gonna be ascending sooner rather than later. I'm gonna say Isla Dawn wins.
She's the one that had the red hair that fought in the last NXT special, right?
Bingo.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. W.
Jeff, anything to add?
Oh, okay. So, Isla Dawn, glad to see her up. I'm glad to see her. She was one of my favorites in NXT UK. I will tell you that. And I think her, Alba Fire, they have had some amazing matches over in NXT UK. Now they get to have one here. And you're going to see the same kind of thing as what you said, seen there, except I think you got a little bit more violent Alba Fire and a little bit more creepier Isla Dawn. This is going to be probably, I'm just going out on a limb, not counting the 2 Iron matches. This will be the match to watch. Because you're right. I think Alba Fire, she loses, she's called up. That's a given. And I think personally, we saw Isla Dawn win her first match. Well, I have a feeling she's going to win again. So I think I'm going Isla Dawn on this. As much as I love Alba, I think that if you're going to bring someone up, you need to push them. Well, I think they've pushed Alba as far as they could right now. And now it's time to push somebody else. Who better than having someone beat Alba? And who better than Isla Dawn? So I've got Isla Dawn winning this.
All right. JJ, Alba Fire, of course, more because she's been involved in this NXT. Just to put this perspective, Isla Dawn was heavily involved, same thing as Kaylee Ray, now Alba Fire, in the black and red. Cheers, my friends. Across the pond in NXT UK. Never got the NXT UK Women's Championship, though, unlike Alba Fire / Kaylee Ray. Isla Dawn has challenged it constantly, though, against the likes of Michael Satomura. She's been in the ring with the likes of Millie Kenzie. She's developed this whole new character where it's almost like she wants to covet something and call it her own, almost like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. So precious. As far as what she's doing right now in this NXT, I'm not sure if the same thing applies, but I also do know that another all-time great from that brand, the former Aloy Valkyrie, will be ascending onto your NXT very soon. And I felt she should have been NXT UK Women's Champion. That being said, this is more faces to what I will give your NXT credit for as an in-depth women's division. They just don't have nobody to give the damn title to at this point. So that being said, what's your take on this? Considering Alba Fire has already fallen short twice to Mandy Rose, does she need the win to go after this title one more time instead of the charm? Or is this Alba Fire's swan song from this NXT?
Well, I don't want to sound like a dick, but this is like my bathroom break match for this show.
Dick!
Honestly, Alba Fire has not impressed me with what I've seen her since she's made it to not Noah's NXT.
Damn it.
There's just nothing about her that I've really been impressed by. And every time that they do something that makes me want to take notice of her, they screw it up.
Yeah.
Whereas Isla Dawn, she had a match on Tuesday. She won. Great. Okay. What's so special about you again? Nothing. Give me my toxic attraction. Anyways.
Blank, toxic attraction, blank.
I do think you make compelling arguments for Alba moving her way up to the main roster here soon, though. So, I picked Isla Dawn anyways, just because at least she's won matches. But I really could care less about this match, unfortunately. And that's sad because this is the first match I've seen on an NXT PLE that I haven't cared about since I started watching.
Dang. All right. And it looks like Oh, well, I'm in the minority. Aladon, 21%, 78% Alba Fire. Guarantee you that's just because of familiarity. I'm pretty sure most people didn't even watch NXT UK.
Right.
But it is what it
That's
is.
the thing is like most of this show was like made on Tuesday.
Right?
Like literally, we knew Braun versus Cruz was going to be a thing. We knew the Survivor was going to be a thing, but until not this past Tuesday, but the week prior, we had no idea who was going to be in it. And then
Right.
the other
And more
matches just
people
kind
were
of got thrown in here this
You didn't
past
even have
Tuesday.
qualifiers for everybody.
Right.
Yeah, and now we're just supposed to care. It's like,
I will say though that you're going to see a classic with these two women.
I hope so.
I mean, have you watched NXT UK at all?
No.
So no. Okay, so you definitely
I
are not
only got
familiar
back-
with Isla
Yeah.
Dawn's character. I think on NXT UK was one of the best that they ever had on that show. Other than, I will not call him Gunther. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. I think that Walter and Isla Dawn, the man and the women of NXT UK, those are the two. Yeah, Isla Dawn never got the title, but she was a hot commodity. She was in almost every storyline imaginable in that company. And she is absolutely amazing in that ring. I promise you, no bathroom break on this one. You're going to enjoy this match.
And we'll be calling it together, JJ. So trust me, I'll carry you through. And I could back up those claims that Jeff said because honestly, Isla Dawn and Ginny, Aloy Valkyrie, they were the people to watch in NXT UK. And now you have, well, a couple of them in your NXT.
Yeah,
I don't
Valkyrie.
think Isla Dawn is going to underwhelm you in the long haul. You just got to
Don't-
get familiar with it.
Real quick, you mentioned Valkyrie. She's the one to take that title off of Rose. Telling you
I
right
hope
now.
so, personally.
This is her chance.
And
She never
Another
got that
one
chance over
never
there.
got the title and fought Michael Satomura for the NXT
Yeah.
UK Women's Championship and fell
Exactly.
short. There are
Yep.
several people from NXT UK, and I'm like, why the fuck were you never champion? But
Wait.
again, looking, I'm not in control.
Is
What do I-
Mako Satomura not coming over at all?
I have no idea what happened to her since Worlds Collide. There's been nothing.
I think she's helping with the women's division. I think she's working in the back, if I'm not mistaken. So she's still part of the
they're
company,
on
but she's not coming out.
TV, though.
I know. I love her. I love
She's
Mako.
so good.
And
I have
really
since-
quickly, Dwayne in the comments points out that Revival was the first Triple Crown.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right.
Okay, yeah.
You're right.
Forgot
Okay,
about the past, but he's absolutely right.
I forgot they won the SmackDown titles.
Yeah.
I knew they won the Raw ones, but I didn't think I totally forgot about the SmackDown
We
ones.
forgot 7-star meant the blue strap too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about this last match and then actually get to the point of this show, which, again, I thought was going to be two matches to begin with. But seriously, JJ, what are the two for sure things about your NXT? Mandy Rose retains.
Braun Breaker.
Do I need to say anything else?
Yeah, Braun Breaker. I mean, come on.
Bronwyn Breaker is the face of this NXT. It's as simple as fucking that.
Yeah.
He's the face of this NXT until he's not anymore.
Right.
He's the face of this NXT until he gets the call up.
But Apollo
Now,
Crews-
granted, I don't
Right.
see him losing on Saturday to
No.
Apollo Crews.
No.
I do see Braun's time coming, but it'll probably be at Stand and Deliver
Mhm.
so that he can debut on the main roster the Raw
night
after Mania.
Yeah.
One song from NXT, just like NXT takeovers that did to so many people, particularly
So-
during Summer WrestleMania weekend. So you're on point. All right, who's the
I
bloody
mean-
fool not sober? Is it one of you here or somebody in the chat? Who the hell picked Apollo Crews to beat Braun Breaker?
It wasn't me.
Wasn't
Okay,
me.
good. At least we're all sane here.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you what's more interesting. We got to stop the presses right now. All of you know that AEW thought it was a great idea to change W. Morrissey's name to Big Bill.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's
All right, so I don't want to hear jack diddly squat shit from either one of y'all about changing names from NXT to main roster no
Thank
more,
you.
because
Thank
Big
you.
Bill
Big
is now a thing,
Big Bill,
and that's
Big
from
Bill.
y'all's AEW. God damn it!
bro.
Y'all.
Big Bill.
Fuck me,
Wow.
man. Oh, you finally fucked up a name.
Hey, it only took him.
He
3
got
years.
that memo from Vince. This is how you do it.
Big Bill, dude.
Big Bill.
Big Bill.
That's
Yeah.
ferocious.
Bro, it's like Bullet Bill, but it's Big Bill instead.
Oh, God.
Sounds
Does that
like a
make me
goddamn
Moriarty?
Mario.
It's kind of like Bearcat.
It sounds like a freaking Mario villain that you could just stop like a Goomba. Goomba, fuck you! Oh my god.
Oh, God. Okay. So, bringing it back to this NXT.
Big Bill.
Well,
So
there was a
bad,
bigger-
bro.
I wish there was a bigger build to these two matches, but at least I see one candidate out of each potentially not only challenging for the titles, maybe taking it off, and Sean Garner raised points, and I will bring them up respectively during these two matches as I once again bring forward to you folks the fusion of a championship scramble and a King of a Mountain, the Iron Survivor Challenge.
Huh?
It is a match where each respectively will have 5 men and 5 women based on points, based on pinfalls, gauntlet variation as people will come out in sequence across a 25-minute span. And every time somebody is rendered on a decision, they will stay within a penalty box. And the person with the most decisions once the time is up will be the new number 1 contender for that respective title, men or women wise. Shawn Michaels, what the hell were you on?
This is not Shawn Michaels. This is so Jeff Jarrett. It's not even funny. That was Jeff Jarrett. That was Jeff Jarrett's like last piece of WWE that he ever booked. Like, hey, you guys should do this, and Shawn Michaels is like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
Oh,
He got through. He got a match idea through. It only took him fucking 20 years, but he finally got a match idea through.
Well, congratulations, achievement, 50 gamer score. Eat that, slap nuts. Let's go ahead.
Jarrett's
and
still a
talk
horseman, damn it.
Jarrett's also a horse's ass for booking this concept, okay?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, let's go ahead and try and have some fun with it and figure out who will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Expelled from this NXT should they lose. Because I think this is literally some people's final exam. Let's start with the women. We have Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell. Oh, Indy. Interesting. Roxanne Perez and Kiana James. And again, folks, 4 of these women were simply named. Only one person actually qualified, and it's the woman in the middle, Dexter Loomis's fiance. Kayfabe-wise. All right, the winner of this will be the next challenger towards Mandy Rose NXT Women's Championship, despite the fact Mandy Rose has held this title now over a year, and they literally have nobody else for her, which is why she's not even on this show. So it comes down to this. Who deserves the most to challenge and maybe take the title off Mandy Rose? And who from this is going to be called up to the main roster before the Royal Rumble, if not the Royal Rumble? James, since you're already having fun with the fact this was booked by Jeff Jarrett, let's start with you. But Sean Garner does bring this forward. He believes that Roxanne will be the next champ. And I totally agree with him.
I don't even hate Jeff Jarrett. I don't even hate the King of the Mountain. I actually really like the King of the Mountain. I'm like one of the few people that like the King of the Mountain match style. I hate this freaking diet soda version of the King of the Mountain, man. It's the worst. This shit sucks. I hate it. Okay. Indy Hartwell is the only name I know, so I'm gonna go with Indy Hartwell, and then the person that what is this, a feast or fired bullshit? Like someone's getting banished if they lose?
No.
Wait, so are all of them getting banished? What are we talking about with the banishment?
I feel like the fact that a few of these people have already challenged Mandy Rose for the title, it's almost a non-placement.
So wait, are they getting banished if they lose or not?
No.
James,
Okay.
I think the point that's being made is that whoever loses this match is
Okay.
probably going to end up moving up to the main roster here very soon.
Okay, so banishment of NXT then.
Yes,
Okay.
up to the main roster. Call up
You're
instead
gonna
of
have
banishment.
4 freaking people call up.
Well, I'm going to say 4,
No.
but I definitely see
Probably
at
the
least
one that gets pinned.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
the one
you know
who
what?
takes the last pin.
Okay, all right, hold on. Let me see the people again.
Go
Hold on.
for it.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna say 3 people and someone gets canned. That's the game we're playing here. The person with the blonde hair, yes, gets called up probably.
Zoe.
Yeah, okay. Is that Zoe Stark? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The other 2, the one with the glasses, yes, because she has glasses and she's hot. Then no, hold on, middle. Yes. And then Indy Hartwell is already established she's going to be the contender. Cora Jade gets banished completely from WWE because of that skateboard spot. Sorry. The game's the game. I don't make the rules.
Jeez, some crow.
Oh, Jesus, James. Okay.
Is that good? Is that a good prediction?
Yeah. So basically, the only person he didn't chastise was the gamer girl, Roxanne Perez. So it sounds
Hey,
like
what do you mean? Hey, I complimented the others.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
No,
all
Noah,
cool.
can you give it to me one time for James?
I started with James because I knew he would have the most batshit reasoning behind it, while you probably would have the most realistic. Ladies and gentlemen, James Hebert, he will be here all night. And betting odds right now are in favor of Zoe Stark, in case you didn't know. I don't know why my money is on Roxanne. Well, Dwayne, if it makes you feel better, my money is on the former Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Roxy, aka Roxanne Perez, because I believe she deserves it. That's my pick.
Okay, I changed my pick,
JJ,
Roxanne.
your turn.
Roxanne, I
All
changed
right.
my pick.
Can I get the image as well, please, Noah?
Absolutely. And I hope folks are definitely entertained by this. Maybe I should have saved the women for last.
You probably should have.
Okay,
honestly.
so my official pick is for Roxanne Perez to take this also.
Yeah.
Good man.
But we all know my love and admiration for Cora Jade. If anybody else is going to take this, I would love to see her be the one to do it. I don't think Kiana James is ready just yet. But if we're looking at names to move up to the main roster, Zoe Stark definitely has it to be up there. Cora Jade as well. And you talk about Indy Hartwell being the fiance to Dexter Lumis, who is back with Johnny Gargano, who is married to Candice LeRae. Why don't we just put the way back together up on the main roster, minus Austin Theory?
That was my thinking exactly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. Jeff, majority is actually going with Roxanne Perez for the win, over half of the pool here of 23 people. Second runner-up is Zoe Stark, followed by Cora Jade, Indy Hartwell with a couple of votes. There are no votes for Kiana James.
I wonder why.
At the end of the day, Roxanne Perez lost her opportunity because of the heel turn from Cora.
Exactly.
You remove that from the equation, you've got a new women's champion for NXT.
Now, if Cora Jade wins the title, does she break the title just as bad as she botched the skateboard?
You know what, James? I don't want to hear it from you because Cora, I love me some Cora Jade. But
I know.
But if the rumors backstage, the rumblings are to be believed, Hunter and company are very high up on Cora Jade. And with her being the significant other, the love interest in real life, if you will, of one Bronathan Breaker one now, if he's about to make it up to the big roster, she's not far behind.
Yeah. Then again, Cora Jade. I've told you, JJ, names like before Roxanne came into this NXT, Cora Jade and Ivy Nile were at the top of my list for potential top stars in the WWE. And since Cora Jade has developed this dark turn, it's definitely brought more focus to her in your NXT. It was that same dark turn that catapulted Rhea Ripley to the main roster, and she freaking debuted at WrestleMania. But I digress. All right, Jeff, go ahead, make a pick, and go ahead and talk about what's the future of all all these women.
Well, first of all, why not? Throw the graphic up, will you?
Now, you know we care so much about this match where we have to keep throwing the graphic up.
Here's the thing. Everyone in this match is going to get a pin.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, everyone in this match is going to get a pinfall except for Kiana James. She's going to be the only one with a big fat goose egg because she is the only one in this match that does not belong in this match. Everybody else has every right to be there. I'm not behind. You could have easily put Tiffany Stratton as the fifth one, and I would have been fine with that. Although we haven't seen her for a while. Yes, she's picked up some key victories on NXT. Key victories.
In a bedtime story match.
Yes, she did lose that.
What?
But she has also picked up some big victories in NXT.
All right, I'll take your word.
More so than Kiana James.
Bro, I think I'm past my fucking bedtime because I'm dreaming. What the fuck did I just hear?
Anyway, my pick.
Bedtime story match?
Yes, it was a bedtime story match. Tiffany Stratton got thrown through a bed. Anyway,
gotcha.
My pick to win it, Indy Hartwell. The reason why is because she needs this title. She needs one title run in NXT. I think this is the chance. She qualified to be the fifth person in this match, and she did it with an amazing match, by the way, to qualify. I think this is going to be no different. She is going to come out with 2 pinfalls. Everybody else has one, with the exception of James, who has 0. The one to be called up, I'm going Zoe Stark. I think have her have one more time with Nikita Lyons, finish this off, send Zoe up.
I feel like I fear Zoe Stark gets the Dana Brooke treatment.
I hope not.
I gotta say, JJ, I know you love this version of NXT or really like this version of NXT, but with all due respect, my guy, what the fuck's going on?
Okay. Before you say that and pin it to me, you have to remember this is the only version of NXT I have ever known.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you have to be fair to me, James. It's
okay,
not like I sat here for years and years and years and watched your black and gold NXT and then decided to say that this is better. This is all I've known.
Yeah, we can't say this versus that.
Wait. But
it would be like if the first time I ever watched NWA TNA Impact was during the Hogan administration.
Oh God!
And that was all I knew.
Okay, yep. James, shut up. That compelling argument. The less we talk about 2010, 2011 TNA, the better off we are.
But hold on. Here's my point.
It would be like if I turned into Raw the first time and it was Triple H getting into the casket with Katie Vick.
Oh fuck. Well.
Oh, it was Kane.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It was Kane. Kane.
It was Triple H dressed as Kane, getting into the casket as Katie Vick.
But hang on, because here's
my
my point.
My point being that, yes, I do enjoy this, but it's all I've known. You've got to give me that.
But I say this, I'd argue that tie-dye NXT had a better card and standard delivered than this does.
I disagree. I mean, granted, I don't know much about your guys' black and gold, but it seems like they've really kind of gotten away from some of the stuff that really turned Noah off to the Rainbow Bright NXT and trying to get things back, at least to where it's like middle centered, even though it may not be back over to this side.
I'll give credit where credit's due. Again, that triple threat at Halloween Havoc was probably the best triple threat match I've seen all year.
Wait, okay. So if tie-dye NXT was really not your NXT and black and gold NXT was our NXT, does that make this like your neutral?
Basically,
kind of, yeah.
You're neutral.
White and gold.
This that is out there right now is as close as I have gotten to your NXT.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yep.
Because when I started watching, it was 1995 WWF with like Duke the Dumpster Drozy and the Goon.
Bastion Booger.
Man, you have you know what it is, JJ? You just have bad luck, man. You get into wrestling at the worst fucking times, bro.
But it's been good enough that it made a fan of the show.
Yep.
There you go. And that's all at the end of the day the business needs to try and do, no matter what, James.
That's fair.
And like I said, all these women, well, with the exception of the businesswoman at this point. They all have potential, in my opinion, to be NXT Women's Champion or be on the main roster. But at the end of the day, you're at the mercy of booking.
I have a book right here.
Simple as that. I'm sure that book is safer than the booking direction. You know what? Let's not go there. The bottom line is this. I believe Roxanne Perez should be the next NXT Women's Champion. But if Indy Hartwell wins this, because she deserves a chance, because she's been around the longest tenure, I would not be mad at that either. It comes down to two things. When you come out during the gauntlet as the clock continually ticks down, and how many decisions you get versus getting pinned. Because again, you get pinned, you're stuck in a penalty box for 90 seconds.
Honestly, there's only two people in this match that I would be pissed off if they won.
And who would that be?
Kiana James and Zoe Stark.
Okay. Well, Zoe Stark recently turned on Nikita Lyons, and again, that's a one-on-one feud with Fallout to happen. Right. Kiana James was feuding with Fallon Henry, still trying to purchase her bar. So, yeah, Kiana James in this match still kind of doesn't add up to me.
I think James and Perez starts it.
No, go ahead, Jeff.
I think James and Perez starts it.
And again, we have
I think Perez and Cora start it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We have no idea what the order is. It was just random.
I gotta be honest. I can't wait to see NXT's take on the Ultimate Escape match.
Please don't give them ideas.
But we still have one more to talk about, James.
Oh, Jesus.
Right down. It's the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge as Carmelo Hayes. Hold on here. Why the fuck is this man not challenging Benefit Breaker already for the NXT Championship?
Stand and deliver. That's why. I'll be real. Probably what they're waiting on.
JD McDonough, Axiom, that is not a Power Ranger, folks. Grayson Whistler, who I confused at one point with Nathan Frazier, my bad, and Joe Gacy, who wants to put us all in an inclusive world. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this one down, shall we? This is already far more entertaining, probably with the opening of SmackDown. Don't worry, folks, we're DVRing it. Who do I start with here? James always knows how to roast everything, so we're going to save him for last on this one. Okay. Jeff, why don't you kick this thing off? Now, let's go ahead and put this perspective. Joe Gacy, JJ, as you and I called, challenged Braun already for the title at In Your House and came up short. I'm trying to remember. Grayson Waller has not challenged for the title. Axiom, the former A-Kid, for those that don't know, from NXT UK, Nathan Frazier, already had a best-of-3 series. Incredible athlete, great matches. JD McDonough signed a contract in his own blood and literally challenged for the title, not once, but twice, both in singles and triple threat action, came up short. And then he destroyed Eli Dragunov, and Eli hasn't been seen since. And the guy that truly, if you want to talk about star building, the biggest star, in my opinion, outside the champion in the men for NXT, Carmelo Hayes, looks to finally hit a shot and not miss. 3-time NXT North American champion, though one was complete and utter bullshit bloodline crap. And literally, this guy at this point has not had a single chance at the NXT championship. What the fuck? Okay, interesting field here. I truly believe only one person deserves to win this, and if he doesn't win, he's off to the main roster, and I'm going to leave my thoughts at that. Jeff, kick us off. Your thoughts. Who should win the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge and challenge for the title? And basically, who doesn't win, who's heading up to the main roster?
My personal opinion, who wins? It's got to be Carmelo. It's got to be. And who heads to the main roster? Oh, jeez. I'm going to go with McDonough. I think he would be a great addition on SmackDown. I think that could be where Raw, I'm sure he'd do fine with, but I think he'd be better suited on SmackDown.
I've got the same shit. That's basically my take.
Yeah. I see Carmelo taking this, and if anyone takes a title off a Breaker, it's got to be Carmelo. At this point. That's what I see. So Carmelo winning and JD McDonough up to SmackDown.
And what's ironic here, JJ, is Grayson Waller challenged Apollo Crews in the coffin match and came up short, yet he has a chance in this match to get a title shot. And Apollo is challenging for the title. We don't think Apollo is winning. So to talk about fickle world, let's go ahead and look at the poll real quick here. 70%, I'm going to round up. Carmelo Hayes. What? 26%
Wait, was
Grayson
that
Waller.
69? Okay. You didn't want to say 69.
No,
Is that what that was?
enough
No.
craziness for one take, all right?
Gotcha.
26% went with Grayson Waller. Nobody picked Axiom. No one picked Joe Gacy. One person picked JD McDonough. So, JJ, what's your take on this field? Who you got? Do you see anybody maybe getting a call-up soon to the main roster? Is this the last chance for some people for the title?
See, here's my problem with this, Noah. Because you talked about the star building.
Yeah.
You talked about the way they've built Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
The problem here is, have they built him too good?
Ooh.
Is he ready for the main roster without even needing to beat Braun Breaker? Because I feel he is.
Yeah.
I feel he could show up on Raw or SmackDown this week and just be on fire.
You're United States champion.
You know, they have built him so well that he doesn't need the NXT title.
It's fair.
And that's the problem with this. Although I picked Carmelo to win,
Same.
they've built him so good that he could come out at the Rumble and, while not win because he's not that ready yet, he could be Rocky Maivia in 1997, making it to the Final Four, even though he just debuted at Survivor Series that November.
That's a good call. That's a very good call.
Take.
Asserting his dominance right from jump. And then the fact that you figure that he's probably not going to get his title match until Vengeance Day anyway, which is going to be post-Rumble.
Right.
Because why would you throw this away on just a random NXT? Personally. You want to save this title match for a big PLE and build for it.
Yeah.
Granted, we're talking 2 months away, but you want to have the TV to build it. We all know Carmelo can do the promos. He doesn't even need Trick Williams.
He really doesn't.
He's going to make Braun have to step his promo game up just to engage in verbal fisticuffs with him.
And that's the one weak aspect of Braun Breaker.
Yep.
If Braun has any weakness in its game, it's his promo.
Mm-hmm.
As far as getting a call up, I think JD McDonough is your obvious choice next to Carmelo. I could see him either feuding with or teaming with Cross, McIntyre, getting inserted into the Brutes. Like, all of those would be great. I think him and Cross would be a great tag team. Way to kind of move him into the main roster.
Gotcha.
Because let's be real, Cross ain't doing a whole heck of a lot since his return.
Well, since Drew McIntyre is also out injured, he can't really continue his previous program either, which he's been stopped dead in his tracks since Crown Jewel.
Exactly. So, Grayson Waller, I would say look for him to be the dark horse in this.
Well, that probably explains why he's the second most picked.
You know, because I've said a few times that Grayson Waller has that Miz Austin Theory vibe to me.
Social media
with his character.
Right.
Like the fact that he does the Grayson Waller effect, which is Miz TV, which is the Peep Show, which is, you know, the highlight reel, which is Piper Pit, Carlitos Cabana, etc., etc.
Cutting edge, yeah.
You know, it just shows that he's got that something about him that he can do those type of segments and people are going to be entertained by it.
Right.
And that's something you want for a champion. Now, NXT World Champion, Oh no, maybe North American champion for Grayson Waller, but look at him to be the dark horse here, the one that people aren't really counting on. Gacy, only way I could see Gacy going up the main roster is if he's with Wyatt.
Yeah.
Period. Just absorb the whole
Accurate.
schism into the Wyatt 6.
Accurate.
And right there, you've already got 5, because you got Ava also.
And Ava right now still has yet to have actual in-ring action.
Right.
But
Now, I will say something. You touched on Karrion Kross. Yes, with the Drew McIntyre thing going on, he's out. This was it last week. He mentioned a name. He mentioned Rey Mysterio. So now he's going to start a little feud with Mysterio, probably to get Titus over till Drew comes back. But
which he's supposed to be back in time for Christmas. So
right.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Like I said, I went with Carmelo, but the $1 million question here is, have they done too good a job building Carmelo? Because I could totally see him showing up on Raw or SmackDown and taking the IC or US title instantly. Open challenge, out he comes to answer the call, goes from North American to Intercontinental like that.
Especially if Ricochet regains the title from Walter, because he won that World Cup, meaning he gets the challenge for it. And Ricochet and Carmelo Hayes had a hell of that opening match during Worlds Collide, and you didn't know which person was going to win that. So it's almost like right there, that was like his trial by fire to see how you handle main roster caliber talent. He hanged and he won. So it's one of those things where it's like, I do kind of get your point about Carmelo Hayes. Have they put so much into him that he's above the NXT brand right now? He doesn't need the championship.
There's a reason he calls himself the A champion.
Yeah. And I'm not going to argue that. And I already can look at 5 programs on the top of my head that I would like to see Carmelo Hayes in. Seth Rollins, Austin Theory, LA Knight, Ricochet. There's a lot of promise in Carmelo Hayes. Definitely. So I do see what you mean. But I still feel like his swan song will be Carmelo Hayes having a chance at the NXT championship. If
Carmelo Hayes versus Montez Ford, anybody?
That, I mean, the potential of Montez Ford going singles. Not that I'm trying to bring another tag team, I assure you, but let's be honest here. Montez Ford has it. It's spades.
Right.
He can go solo. But as long as the Red Solo Cup gimmick's going over, they probably aren't going to do that.
I wouldn't mind seeing Hayes versus Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, personally. I think that would be an amazing match.
Carmelo versus Balor.
That would be
a lot. We got a lot.
Just keep going. Carmelo Hayes, put him in the Royal Rumble. Give us teases for everything.
Now the problem is, if Carmelo gets called up to the main roster, will he be in Hayes?
Well, if he's under Michael P.S. Hayes booking, maybe.
P.S. Hayes' long lost son.
Oh,
that's right.
Shit.
All right.
And yes, I just threw that out there into the sphere, so we all know WWE is going to steal it now. Michael Hayes and his long lost son, Carmelo.
That's right.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, that will go over very well with today's current climate.
Maury for it because Maury stopped doing those maternity things on his morning show. I think he stopped his morning show. They'll have to get like Steve Harvey or something.
That will go over as good as McMahon and his illegitimate son Hornswoggle. I'm telling you.
Gosh,
yeah, might be worse, to be fair.
Let's try and look at this in a more positive spin of things. As long as they don't do Carmelo versus Omos, I think we're safe.
Yep. Fair enough.
Okay, James.
Yeah.
I saved you for last, but it seems like with all the Carmelo talk we just talked about, you do see promise in him, and maybe he'd be your pick. So
he's winning.
What's your takeaway towards? Would I feel like you have more of a realistic approach towards this men's field versus the women? What's
definitely Carmelo's gonna be winning. Although I am still gonna roast everybody because I have to. But yeah, Carmelo Hayes is gonna win. Now let's see what we got here. We got JD McDonough. I actually like him, but let's be real. I mean, he's miniature Finn Balor. He's there. He gets his little trophy of participation. And then you got who's the other guys?
That is Axiom, the former A-Kid Heritage Cup winner.
The next Sin Cara. Okay, he's not winning. What we got
That's
here?
Grayson Waller.
I can't wait until that Power Ranger, by the way, is going to get his own like light show every match that he has, and then it's going to make him botch every move. That's going to be great. Can't wait for that rehash. What we got here? Grayson Waller.
That's Grayson Waller, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so the weird dude who's trying to. I remember he was a Fox News analyst. What? He's CNN now? Is that the gimmick? I don't know.
And Joe Gacy to round out the field.
Joe Gacy, is that the one with the weird ass beard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Why does he
The one
look
that's
like?
kind of going like this.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. What? Joe Gacy. Why does he look like? It looks like a combination of like Conor McGregor and Sheamus if they had like a bastardized son.
Oh my God.
Call it how I see it. There you go.
Just that look.
Just
Okay.
the look itself with the beard and the weird
Yes.
part is there. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is James Hebert's side of things when it comes to the description of the NXT roster. Stay tuned for the trading card to come out at your local convenience store for insert talent name here. If the chat wants to put a talent name right now in the comments, I will bring it up and give James a description, and he can try and roast it as we try and finish this thing up. The bottom line is this, ladies and gentlemen, for those that have stuck around for the long haul, we all are going with Carmelo Hayes as a primary, and I didn't do 2 picks, but if we were to pick a second, it sounds like Grayson Waller is the most optimistic choice based on what he's been doing lately, especially what you said, JJ, the Grayson Waller effect when he had the whole field fighting amongst each other. He literally is stirring the pot.
Yeah, definitely a puppet master. If I had to pick a second, I'd probably go with JD just because I like that kid. There's something about him where it's like, I need more JD McDonough on my screen.
I agree.
But,
And he has,
I said, Grayson is that dark horse, man. Like, don't count him out.
Fair take. All right. And people comments here. Let's see here. This was a tough one. I wanted Braun to win, Apollo and Axiom. In the words of the late, great boxing referee Mills Lane. Okay, I respect that. RIP. Let's get it on! All guesses. Well, at least that's a honest, take. Because honestly, you probably can guess. No, seriously. You guys, I don't think it's I think the most obvious match here is literally Braun keeping the title. They're not going to give it to Apollo. They're not. No. I'm sorry. No. Nigerian royalty might be worthy of the Intercontinental Championship, but it's not worthy of the NXT Championship in JJ's NXT. There, I said it. And you can go watch Wakanda Forever for a more realistic accent. All right. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, again, get your opinions, get your predictions, get your comments in. Thank you for tuning in. Before we conclude, here's the shill part for more people in this panel than me. Again, gentlemen, what a way to go out, right? I do think after this, because you notice I didn't do one thing. I didn't put any predictions leagues up. There will be one last video this year where I will announce the winners of all the leagues, and thank you all, guaranteed. I think we all should come together, bring our best and worst takes of wrestling matches maybe this year.
You pointed at me.
For the respective companies. I didn't point at you. I quoted you. And,
all right.
Just talk about the winners and maybe our optimistic thoughts as we head into 2023. But before we get there, let's get through this week's end with the Super Saturday that's ahead. But I'll let you all get out here now and enjoy SmackDown the rest of your night, whether it's pizza, Rampage, or something else. Yeah. So with that being said, Jeff, always a pleasure. Good luck. Anything you want to play, promote, and where we're going to find you.
Well, you can find me on Meltdown, Meltdown 316 here on Facebook. I'm currently running, I have been running. There's the logo. It's pretty, isn't it? I do. I'm currently running NWL. We're in season 4, going into week 10 next week. So we're almost at the halfway point. And we're having a blast over there. We got 90 people in the league right now. So yeah, so Sean and Justin have been doing an amazing job running each brand, and I'm left with basically just the form and the records. So they're definitely helping me out a lot over there. And yeah, if you want to take a chance and hop in mid-season, you're more than welcome to. Just hit me up.
So there you go. Well, you always know I'm game for anything.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll definitely be on the round table next month. James,
Absolutely.
again, man, the way your mind works, from creativity to interesting takes, never change. We always appreciate you. If there's anything you want to plug above, where can people find you? And of course, I will see you tomorrow for a commentary call for Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Yes, you will. Well, there's one thing coming up today. In fact, literally in about at about 8:45 p.m. ish. If for some reason you're not going to be watching SmackDown and you wanna actually watch some gaming or something, Michael X is doing his part 4 of his Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play. That's going to be here in the iCard on demand, so I can do that stuff. It will also be somewhere in the description. That will be going on pretty much right after this. So go check out Insanity Works Incorporated, as Casey will actually be there, as well as Mike and other people, I'm sure, as well, will join in the festivities and fun. Michael X playing, and anytime Michael X plays a game, it's always a riot. If you think I'm funny, you should listen to him, fighting a Sith Lord. It's a hell of a time. Or him basically making a stormtrooper shoot another fellow stormtrooper. That's a fun time. That's happened. So
Friendly fire.
Yeah, friendly fire. More like special fire. Anyway, I could say it because I'm autistic and you're not. Most of you watching. So you guys can check.
That's not insult, folks. That is just a fact of life.
Let me talk to you. You can also check out my retro review with Kuzan and Mike and Owen Finch of WWF Fully Loaded 2000. That will also be on an iCard. I think I already put it in the iCard probably after this is on demand for 24 hours. Go check that out. And in the description too, I'm sure. Check all that stuff out from FTW Productions. As Noah said, I'll be with JJ and Noah to call the festivities for the next 12 hours tomorrow. So that will be going crazy over there. So there you go.
Just make sure you got plenty to drink.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Is there anything else I forget? I don't think. Oh yeah, WWE Aftershock and AEW Spark on Owen's channel as well, which is hosted by this man. Noah's back to hosting it for a little bit. So there
it was pretty fun, and we'll see what me and the King will do. JJ, again, my friend, always a pleasure. Your NXT is interesting, and James Stewart has an interesting take on it.
I will take interesting, considering 6 months ago
that's interesting.
Ready to take some big old Jurassic Park Triceratops shits on top of it. So I'll take interesting. At least that's an upgrade.
It helps that's not blinding with rainbow splash paint like Splatoon 3, even though Splatoon 3 was nominated for Family Game of the Year and won it.
Family Show
of the Year.
In the interest of fairness, by the way, JJ, I know that this is your NXT. I just took the opportunity so that way I can look this way because I know which way to look up at you. So that's the only reason I did the bit. Really.
Who came together?
I'll take that, James. I'll take that.
Yeah. But anyway, JJ, anything you want to promote for the short run? Because I know we got a lot to talk about tomorrow before we kick things off and after we're done with everything. But anything then and now that you just want to say?
In addition to the 12 hours of insanity that's going to be going on my channel, Noah's channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, etc., the entire multiverse of media, prior to that insanity, I have not one, but 2 episodes of Renegades Reviews going up. So there will be content on my channel for 13 hours.
Boy, you crazy.
So in addition to all that, the only other thing that I really want to plug and get out there on your own show, much to your chagrin, Friday, the 23rd of December, special edition of Open Mic Night, the eve of Christmas Eve special, where we will be doing the Wheel of Carols for a $5 super chat
not
And
going
this
there.
man right here is going to sing Christmas carols. God damn it.
Ooh.
For the entire world to see. He's going to sit there. He's going to tell you to donate your money to the Salvation Army or save it for your church
I was
offering
about to
plate
say, you
or
got to do the bit,
some
bro.
kind of shtick like he always does
Do
to
the
interrupt
bit.
me to try to make sure that you don't donate. But if you want to hear myself,
Do the bit for your daughter at the workshop.
James Hebert, Noah Foster, Jeff Meacham, and the rest of the Open
Buy your latest
Mic
Christmas
Night crew,
soundtrack from your local Walmart.
if you want to see us make asses of ourselves, save
Get a
your
giant
super
inflatable
chat
snowman
money.
for your front yard.
I've got to tune in for this. I've got to tune in for this.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Trust
Just
me.
make sure, if you do it, Jeff, make sure you're on one of the channels that accepts super chats so that you can do that. So we get a wheel spin, and this man right here has got to open up, break down those walls of Jericho, and expose himself even more to the wrestling fandom out there.
Go to bed early.
I love you, Noah.
Bring your kids to bed
Go
early.
to bed early, he says.
Read the book before Christmas. Watch Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Damn it.
You know I love
my
you,
God.
Noah, but I got to get that out there any chance I can, bro.
Oh, God bless it. All right. Fair enough. I love you all too. But some man don't sing, some man don't dance, some man just talk wrestling and do commentary. It's as simple as that.
God, Simple Man ain't doing any of those simple things come the 23rd.
God
Right?
help
The
me.
simple man is going to be so out of his element because we are not even going to discuss wrestling unless a topic gets super chatted about. We are going to be discussing Christmas traditions, movie specials, favorite songs, etc. Gifts that we
Well-
got as kids, our favorite gift growing up.
You know what you
We're
say?
going to be going so outside of the wrestling bubble that Noah's just going to be sitting there like, can we talk about Ted DiBiase's evil Santa Claus? Can we talk about December to Dismember?
No.
He's going to want to talk about
No, we
anything
can't.
wrestling related.
I'm desperate to talk wrestling now. I'm not that
Vader Claus. Vader Claus.
Vader Claus is the best, right? Vader Claus is great. The Santa bomb. The
Can we
Santa
talk about
sleigh.
Santa with muscles?
Oh,
Like
God.
something
No,
wrestling related.
no,
Please, I
no,
beg
we
of
don't.
you.
No, we
That's
don't
going to be
talk-
Noah. I swear to God.
No, listen. Noah, you say Noah will be out of his element, but I mean, he's got to have Christmas traditions. I mean,
Exactly.
you're good.
For as much as this guy is
It's the
putting up a
singing.
fight, I know deep down inside, once we get the show running, we're going to see a completely different side
Well-
of Noah Foster, and that is what I am striving for.
Well,
No,
I mean,
next-
Noah's a churchgoer.
Exactly.
Am I right? You sing in
Exactly.
church.
I want him.
Now we get to hear you sing. I'm
I
all for
mentioned
this.
to him- I mentioned to him about a month or so ago when we first brought the topic up. I want
Mhm.
him to recite the Bible verse that Linus speaks in A Charlie Brown Christmas. Like,
Ooh.
I want him to do that as our resident churchgoer. I think that
Right.
would be so profound coming from Noah.
That would actually be really good.
Yeah. You know what we got to do next year? We got to make Noah do a Fortnite dance. Now that's content. Now that's content.
That'll be on our
Yes.
New Year's Eve special.
Oh, yes.
I am
Dude,
good
that's
to have
great.
someone super chats $100.
I will save up as much as I can to see that.
I dare you.
Whoever is good with finances and saving their money, save $100. If you reach it and you super chat it, he's doing a Fortnite dance.
There's no way in hell that's happening on New Year's Eve because I know people will be out drinking and partying.
No.
They won't have the money.
It just
I
sounds like
won't be. I'll be here drinking. I won't be out there drinking.
I don't blame you. But no, I'm just saying it has to be in 2023 at some point. All right.
Hey, if we can get Zach to start putting our open mic night broadcasts back up in the bar that he works at, we may be able to hit that
we
goal, Noah.
could. Yeah, we could. Hey, yo, Zach, put that shit up in the bar. Let him know that Noah has to do a Fortnite dance and $100 super chat.
And Nathan, as far as Santa Goldberg goes, Santa's Sleigh will be my review for this Friday. So tune in to Cassidy 18 Studios and check that out.
Why? Why am I at the epitome of this loss in dignity and this ultimate humility. Why am
You know
I
what?
at the center of this conspiracy? Why?
You know what? Think of it this way, my dude. At the end of the day, it is one day a year that you let your hair down and expose this other side of you to the world.
I don't have.
Is it really that big a deal? One day.
It's about to say I don't have much hair to begin with.
One day, bro.
I heard him.
Step
I
outside
heard him
the
stop
wrestling
halfway
bubble.
through.
One day.
One day, no, it's okay.
You still got 364 other days
You do.
to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. Damn it.
But in that, you gotta enjoy life and enjoy the merriest of Christmas.
Simple as that.
Ah.
Y'all are too much. All right. With that being said, if you want to know more about me from an actual wrestling content, know this, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional fucking wrestling, damn it! But I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and in Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout, of course, to our entire ATW family on the Twitter. Again, the ATW view has been on indefinite hiatus, but I am going to try and bring the crew and maybe outside parties back together to one more time this year, just to bullshit and reminisce on the good that we approved of this year in all things wrestling.
Okay, I'm for that. I'll be there. I like positivity.
Yep.
Well, I try to be positive, but you all definitely bring out the worst in me. That being said,
hey, I'll just try to be the funny man. That's just, Eric
You know
is
what?
the one. Eric is the one who's on bear of all things news. I ain't doing that shit.
Comedy is subjective. Ahmed the Dead Terrorist.
That shit ruled.
Oh, good God. Folks, stay tuned. As again, James alluded to, me and the King will be back some point with another edition of AW Spark, covering, of course, all things All Elite Wrestling. But as a special tonight, because, well, Cindy challenged me to it, I'm going to try and reboot an old platform, my Twitch, for our live watch-along reactions to tonight's AEW Rampage, which, of course, will be headlined by Orange Cassidy defending the AEW Championship. And also the Bunny, hey, Ali, going up against Carchita for the Regina D-Wave, Jeff, Regina G-Wave Championship. But also the winner of that match will challenge Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. That and so much more ahead. And again, as these crazy folk alluded to, tomorrow, let's fucking go all day. Saturday, the Jeff Meacham Network, Blood vs. Mia, brings you coverage of both Ring of Honor Final Battle and NXT Deadline, proceeding with an open mic night to follow that too. And of course, why this is the last Super Predicted Battle of 2022, I am not done yet, by a long shot. As I said, these guys, maybe others, will be back one more time to discuss our retrospectives on this year, and I will officially announce the winners of all of the leagues. But also after that, I'm going to do one more little thing before 2022's end, a simple preview of Dream Queendom, Stardom's final supercard of the year, headlined by, of course, Siri, the #1 PWI Pro Wrestler of the Year for the women, taking on Julia. A match 1 year in the making, a match 3 years in the journey, and so much more. As 2023, we will welcome in, of course, with the return of Simply Predicting, kicking off with my ultimate status quo of the year, Wrestle Kingdom 17!
Now that logo rules.
Yes, I absolutely love it. And I'm sure James, maybe others will be a part of that too. It'll be a few hours prior to Wrestle Kingdom going officially on the air too. So stay tuned for that and so much more. But as always, I'd like to conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. They're just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. And it's the holidays, so I will say this. Treasure your families. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that. With that being said, thank you again so much for either being part of the whole thing or tuning in. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as this video goes live or on demand on this YouTube channel. And there will be a simple take following Dream Queendom too. Hit the subscribe button. Help me keep growing this community. Shout out to all 260 of us with me on this fun YouTuber creators journey. It's not letting up anytime soon. But now I leave you to the rest of your Friday night too. For James Hebert and all of Interior Productions, for the Renegade JJ Williams and the entire Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media and Family and Cohorts, for Jeff Chadwick and the Meltdown Wrestling League, and of course GPL and everybody also side with that too. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all enjoyed SmackDown or are enjoying it right now. If you have Fox, good for you. I don't. I'm going to rest my head and my mind and my face until Rampage. So until next time, where you at least will see me, JJ, and James somewhere in the internet too, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. The final battles are upon us, and somebody's going to meet their deadline. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for enjoying and engaging at some point in Simply Predicting for 2022.